ring in the middle.
And we are live once more. We are,
Ah,
yes, very scary. We're going to start in our usual manner with Blackheart once again, not here. He shall join us at some point as Carrick Mask. We have Kronos as,
RG Thal.
Hatdan as,
all right. Telde.
Marcus as,
Corvus Adalas.
Sammy as,
Gifton Rotgren.
Tobias as,
Caspia Pierce Steel.
and me, Ali, as your friendly DM. Who would like to give us the recap?
I would.
Go for it.
All right, so last week, the party was dealing with the tragedy that was Thaldir's death. It weighed heavily on everyone, and we, in the time after he died, moments after, and brought him back to the tavern. Corvus went out and told Klopp what happened while Gifton was trying to start dealing with the body. Klopp reacted in a way that surprised many as he suddenly kind of lunged into the tavern. Luckily, after Gifton had kind of paid off the tavern.
Oh God.
Okay, so that happened. The tavern keeper was paid 5 platinum for leaving for the night. He seemed a little upset because he didn't understand why there was a dead body in the middle of his place. Klopp came in after dashing out on the street briefly, snorted a bunch at Thaldir's corpse like he was trying to get a scent, and then tried to rush out of the tavern, going right over Corvus, and RG and Gifton gave chase. With much pleading, begging, and negotiating, they managed to convince Klopp to come back with them after he had cleared a large part of the town and scared a lot of people. They had him reassume his horse persona and took him back to the stables, well, into the building actually, and then they kind of got back to trying to figure out what to do. RG made the call, I believe, of get a hold of Lynn through Carrick and see if she could help move the child and the goblins. So they went and had Carrick go get his scarf on to try and start doing that. Gifton, meanwhile, was very bereft, very concerned. The events that had happened in Dulwood left her really wanting to make sure that Orel wouldn't do any of the bad things that she remembered that happened in Dulwood, where they reanimate the corpse or they make a ghost, or any of the bad things that she just knows is not okay that happens sometimes to the more God-loved mortals in the world, and she wanted to safeguard against that, but she had no magic left because she completely spent everything in a ridiculous attempt to try to save a boy and a dead dwarf. She sang a sad little song, and she sat there trying to do more rites, and I was consulting with what the requirements for the spell, with the coins and all that crap, and sometime during that she had a conversation with Corvus, because Corvus came down and I think he was saying that he kept telling Gifton that she should rest, and we were all complaining that it was literally noon and it was a bad time to take a nap. And Gifton said she couldn't because something could come at any minute, and she's one of the few people in the party that could spot such things. And then, as if to just check to just make sure it's all safe, sure enough, there was a ping behind her, and before she really got her senses that it was just a celestial ping, but I don't think she really cared at the time, she drew her bow and was suddenly threatening the Amor Angel, Puriel, who we had met in Dulwood. She felt really bad, and Puriel was acting a bit oddly. Unfortunately, Gifton kind of didn't pick up on it, other than that Puriel was a bit cold. But others kind of got the idea that something was kind of weird with Puriel. Puriel started very pointedly trying to ask if the party knew any angels. Gifton eventually said, yeah, they know Raz, and she finished it realizing it was Raziel, and Raziel appeared. Some people in the party saw that he had a spear. I actually think the only person who saw it was Cassiopeia. I don't remember. He had a spear, and he was behind Puriel, and he had a very upset look on his face and like grief stricken. And the following thing happened of Cassiopeia yelling for Puriel to look out and lightning bolting Raziel. Raziel thrusted his spear forward, killed Puriel. Everyone else was blinded for a minute, but Gifton got to see the extent of the grief on his face and heard him, actually several people heard him say he was so sorry and that, he had to make sure it was all worth it and the sacrifices or whatever. And he said that he wanted very badly to bring us into his inner circle. He wanted to trust us. He wanted to tell us what was going on. He wanted to, but then he looked at Cass, and then he said, sometime soon we're gonna have to pick between the few or the many, and he hopes that we pick the many, is I think what he said. And then he left. There was, I think before that, a little bit of party shenanigans that I may have glossed over because RG at one point was trying to strong arm Cass into going with Corvus the next day and helping the guard. And there was resistance there, and Gifton unfortunately got a little heated at Cass because Cass seems like she's holding a huge grudge against anybody associated with Talon, and including just the town guards, and she got upset because Gifton's a little compassionate monster sometimes about people who maybe aren't okay, but it happens. And then the unsightly timing of a certain dragon grandma showed up as we were trying to hide a angel burned corpse mark of wings on the floor, which hopefully she didn't see too much of that. And then she took Carrick, the goblins, and the child after the child kind of had his kind of tearful goodbyes with people, and they went to the Capes. She negotiated with the Capes. Capes took the boy in after talking with RG and her a bit. RG went and try to find Marissa. Marissa's not in town, and apparently the sending stone's with other people right now. Then when RG went back to go meet up with Carrick and Lynn, found out Carrick and Lynn are gone. Ended up spending the night with the Capes. Carrick and Lynn went back to their place. Lynn was like, I can't stop you from being an adventurer, but god damn it, I'm going to educate you, and thrust a big heavy box of books in his hands. And then she took a nap because the teleports were really, really wearing her down a lot, more than any of us probably thought they might. At least I thought they might. I felt bad. And then the next day she went back, got RG, and she's taking another rest. During that time, a fire broke out across town back in Cuthwaite. Upon seeing the fire break out across town, Cassiopeia opened the door, looked out, saw it, and bravely ran off to go help. And Gifton, who was still completely out of spells and unable to physically lift a bucket, had to sit and watch her friend run off, and also couldn't close the door and had to have Klopp do that. And she has not seen Cassiopeia since. I think then we went forward a day or two.
Actually, about 3 days. Yes.
About three days forward. And the fires and the rioting continued, and suddenly there were military soldiers outside the inn, the next egg. Gifton went out to kind of meet with them, and they're like, oh yeah, you're definitely one of the people we're looking for, which it was awkward. And then he said that they had a delivery basically of this is assigned to you now, and gave us Telday. And then Gifton offered that Corvus and her are both medics and trained and can help if anybody needs anything. And also that she inquired very nervously that her friend Cassiopeia hadn't been seen in several days. And Cassiopeia's steel-shod. She's a big centaur. If you see her, we're worried. And the soldier said that, a steel shot still made it, or is still alive. Cool, kind of thing. Which kind of left Gifted and Corvus going, what? As they left. And I think that's mostly where we rounded out at.
Yeah.
We played some music, and
Yep.
Corvus was badass. Corvus was an extreme badass.
You played some music.
Yeah.
Corvus was very, very good for once. Which Corvus, I have decided you get your proficiency with your viola.
Yay! Grats, man!
So take your tool proficiency there.
Only took 2 months of torture.
Yep. And yes, Telde responded with his own music quite beautifully. And that is where we left off. Gifted and Corvus, you're standing there looking at the Warforged that just played a wonderful tune on this strange instrument.
Well, that was.
Did they weaponize music?
I kind of put a little blank. No, but that was very well done.
It was beautiful. Can you play more like that?
Accompaniment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I'd like to do more of that, but I think we should figure out a few things. What did they mean by she's at least one steel shot still around?
wasn't the steel shots going to Satur?
Oh yeah, they might all be there. That's probably what
And
they meant.
no, that is not what they meant.
I don't understand.
Steel shots going to Satur, proposed attack to Satur, and the guards coming here and saying, well, at least one of them's left.
Yeah, one of them
Means-
didn't get deployed out to Sadur, right?
I may be devil's advocate, but I don't think there's any steel shots left besides Cass.
Gifted frowns. Do you think we made the wrong choice and we should have been in Sadur?
We may still have Dauda around.
Gifton has this sudden look of extreme heartbreak on her face. Doctor is
But-
cold.
But whatever is happening with Aurel in this place would happen. So one
Clop.
pain versus the other.
Clop. She looks like she's flustered because she just wants to. She looks over at Telde, and she looks at Corvus, and then she's just, you know what? It's just brambles and twigs. I don't care right now. And she just cups her hand. Clop, come back in here.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You hear the slow sounds of hooves strutting down the front of the building, and then there's a sort of slight thump at the door, and then after a few moments, the handle turns. As it rattles a
clever
bit.
girl.
Yep.
Oh,
Before the door swings open and Klopp is standing there.
Alright, can you close the door?
yes, so yeah.
Okay.
Come in,
Okay,
Klopp.
Come on.
Klopp slowly trots in,
And,
Alright,
and
shut
Klopp
the
seems to
door.
be staring at the great big armored-looking figure.
Clout, this is Telde. He's been kind of given to us. I thought slavery was illegal.
I'm not sure it's really what that means in this case.
I don't know.
He's
Are you a ranked officer in the military? Telde?
Indeterminate.
I am a slave.
Okay, well, alright, this is Klopp. He is our horse, okay? And he is very horse-like.
Klopp makes a
Salutations.
very horse-like noise.
Salute.
Yeah, horse Klopp in charge of you, okay?
what?
Well, I'm
Sir.
establishing a
Yes, sir.
hierarchy.
Oh,
So if Klopp wants you to do something, you do what Klopp wants, okay?
Query.
Yes.
What languages?
Mostly silent body language. It will take some interpretation.
Have not
Unfortunately,
been trained in any form of sign languages.
it will be an experience that you will learn through. Klopp likes to be given apples. You will give him apples from the kitchen. And
All
there are
right.
brushes.
And turns and starts walking toward the kitchen.
Okay, well, at least I got something nice for
Klopp's
Klopp.
gaze slowly turns to you, Gifton. It's very hard to read, but
I feel we're gonna have better conversations with
Thump.
Klopp than
Walked into the bar.
All right,
Talday.
Thump. Walked into the bar.
all right, walk
Thump.
around.
Talday.
Walked into the bar.
Walk around the obstruction.
Stop.
Corvus
Alright.
is tapping his cane.
Okay, let's. All right, well,
Klopp
We'll
is
come back
backing
to-
out of the tavern.
Climbs
no,
over
Klopp,
top
please,
of
I
the
want to
bar.
talk to you. Don't leave.
Klopp pauses.
All right, you were sniffing at Thaldir before he was moved. Can you still remember what you were checking for?
Klopp's head slowly bobs.
All right. If we very, very carefully put a hood or something on Corvus, do you think you could, if he rides you, could you just kind of walk in that direction like a horse? And we can kind of get close, but we don't want to get right to it because the others aren't here, okay?
Klopp lets out an affirmative snort.
We find the area, okay? And not
You just want to put a hood over my head.
Well, I don't know how much he recognizes you, but I'm assuming he does. I mean, the harder part is
I
going to be
have
hiding.
brought apples.
Thank you, Talday.
Thank you,
It's
Tilde.
a large bundle of apples in his arms.
Okay, good. Just one at a time for Klopp, okay?
Start shoving the apples.
Drops
into
I was
all
gonna
of
say,
the apples
always
except for one.
give and then reach down, grab another, and give. There's gonna be no gap in between.
That's like Klopp can eat that fast.
Klopp's staring at this apple.
I'm pretty sure it's safe.
Klopp slowly leans forward and takes the apple from the Warforged.
Okay.
That
That is enough, Tilde, for now. All right. So, Corvus, do you have anything that can like hide your face, or like some makeup, or something we can do to your hair? I've got. Do we still have that tin of hair oil or whatever? We can make your hair look a different color, maybe.
I can probably slick it back, but no, I wasn't that skilled with.
Subterfuge.
Yes, that word.
Are you good with subterfuge?
Sit.
Me?
Sit.
Okay.
I'm gonna sit.
Corvus will
Reach
sit.
into bag. Pull out hurdy-gurdy for a moment. Put it back in bag. Pull out a large kit.
My
I
mother
am
had,
proficient.
my mother had one of those.
Oh, good. So Tilde, can you make him look like a different human?
Yes and no.
To the best of your ability.
All humans look alike.
Wow, Talday, thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, but do as much as you can to mask his features from what they currently are, okay?
Would you like additional limbs?
No.
No.
No, that will be fine for now, but we will revisit that later.
What?
Is facial reconstruction necessary?
No punching.
No. Only what your makeup kit will allow.
Ow.
No use of actual violent tools and body reassemblage, okay?
Affirmative.
Camouflage.
Camouflage.
Not camouflage, but make him
Disguise.
nondescript. Disguise, nondescript. Remove any telling features, okay? Change his hair color. Maybe give him a
Nose
mole.
is a telling feature.
Do you
What's
have a
wrong
fake
with-
nose?
What's wrong with my nose?
Do you have a false that you can put on him, or a mustache, or a beard?
I do not want a mustache.
You could have a beard.
Removal was advised.
What?
No removal. No, we're keeping that. He needs it. Necessary part.
It's my thinking beard.
No, you don't have a
Would
beard. I
be
thought.
easier to eliminate facial hair.
He does have what he has in the picture. So,
Oh, he does have a little bit of a beard. Okay.
yeah, that strap across the lower jaw. Fine if you have to take it off.
But can we just add a mustache?
I'll be back in a few minutes.
But yeah, just do that, and then I'll just Care, what should we do? We should go with them, right?
I don't know. I mean, we can keep an eye out, I suppose, but we're just gonna have to stay in the pockets mostly, aren't we?
I mean, but the thing is, if they get attacked, at least we'll all be together, right?
I suppose so. But,
I mean,
well, I was thinking, like, the soldiers need help, right? Maybe?
yeah.
What if we do some visible healing? We can both do it, and maybe word of that will make Corel think that we're not on his trail?
Gifton is quite spent, as I tried to express earlier this
That
morning.
was 3 days ago. I was
Oh,
spent.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm fully up. I'm at full power. I go. It's not a bad idea, but
And, I mean, frankly, I think if they get spotted, Club can probably get him out of there.
yeah. I mean, Klopp, you'd get him out, right?
Klopp slowly nods his head.
All right. I
And
trust you.
To be frank, I'm worried about Cass. We haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah, we could
Keep an eye out.
for her. Yeah. Maybe we can talk to some people and see if we can find anything out.
You
Yeah.
do know if you are seen, Orel may target you directly.
Yeah, but I do have a new trick up my sleeve, and I'm going to whirl my hand around a little bit, making a big like golden line, and then slap it on Dingus's side, and there's gonna be like a brief little.
Meep,
That should make him a lot more durable.
It's not the durability is one thing.
I will say Dingus just went over 70 hit points.
But
Nice.
I have 50. Yes.
I have similar, my friend, and I'm telling you, the 10 hit point little pseudo dragon just got a buff.
That's because you're soft and squishy, Corvus.
And there's a black card.
Hi.
There's a black card.
All right. But yeah, why don't we do that? Corvus. I'd say we'd use the radios, but I think Argy took the thing.
She was the one to have it last.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe the Corvus shouldn't go along just in case. I mean,
Till they go with?
yeah,
Talday
he
could
wasn't part of
accompany.
our group. Aurel shouldn't.
Know him, yeah. Why don't you take Tilday with you, and we'll meet back here. What time is it?
It's about midday, it looks like.
We meet back here before sunset. If we don't see each other, something went wrong. Okay.
Yeah, sounds right.
And I will take out a sheaf of paper from the party stuff and grab the inkwell, and I am writing a note to Argy and Carrick and Cassiopeia. We went looking for Cassie. We're also tracking other things. We hope to be back by sundown. If we're not back,
Come rescue us.
the geese gets to sit there holding the thing going, come find us?
Yeah, that sounds right. And Dingus meeps.
And then she's gonna sign it XOXOXO, Gift and Care, and Corvus. and Telde and Clop
Meep.
and Dingus.
How about I shave and we'll just go with that, and then you could do your disguise work. Sounds
Oh.
good.
Yeah, why don't you shave real quick? I just have something I want to handle out in the Vardo really quick.
Do
No,
you
no.
then,
still require hair?
Just discolor it. Make it a different color.
Yeah,
I suppose.
keep different shade. Do you have a wig?
The waffles have a wig.
He's got a disguise kit.
Sounds amazing. I think
Sure,
all
you
we
can
need
have a
is
wig.
I think
Yeah.
all Warforged just need wigs.
All right, I will pull out the silk rope and then put it back in the bag.
Kare's
Pull
gonna
out
look
a-
at that and he's gonna sort of like motion. Let's hurry outside.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm gonna go out to the Verda really quick.
large blonde
Okay.
wig.
Out to the
Oh
Prado.
boy. Large blonde wig. Corvus will clean up, shave in the basin, I suppose.
Okay.
Come back down for Telde to disguise.
Alright, Telde, I want a disguise kit roll from you, please. And what are you doing outside, Gifton?
Once I get kind of clear of Corvus and Telde and Clop and them, and I don't mind if Kira's with me.
Mhm.
Or Dingus, that's fine. I'm going to kind of squeeze Kira's hand and go. I'm gonna try something a little silly and ridiculous, and it's not gonna work. But humor me for a minute, okay? And then we'll go.
Okay.
I return.
All right, and then
Um,
she's going to kind of close her eyes and bow her head a little bit, and she's saying this kind of softly, and she's thinking very hard about a certain white-winged angel she knows, and how she feels, and she goes, I don't know if this is gonna work. I don't know how you're supposed to do this without saying the person's your name, and oh god, I sound like such an idiot. I hope you're okay. I hope you're someplace safe and you're okay. And I don't think you're a bad person. I wish we could talk like regular people. All right, I'm gonna. I don't. You're not even listening. Why the hell am I doing this? And she's gonna shake her head and just like blush at Kara. Just.
He's gonna squeeze your shoulder.
Yeah.
I didn't want to interrupt, but with Corvus' shaving and his bandaged arm, would Telde have advantage?
No.
Okay. I was just
He applies a wig to you. Does a little bit of makeup on you. That seems to. I'm guessing he's trying to disguise your features a bit, and yeah, you are ready to go.
I have costume clothes.
Okay, you're gonna encourage him to wear those.
Yes. Unfortunately, one is very poofy dress.
Why is okay? No, never mind. Yes, fine. What do you have?
You will look lovely.
Not in the dress. What else? You said you had more than one. Yes.
The other is
Second dress.
very bright and colorful.
Oh.
You will be pretty.
Oh.
It is a costume.
Both of these things will alter the DC. I'm not telling you which is which.
Bright and colorful versus poofy dress.
Well, you're wearing a long blonde wig. And you just shaved.
And he's expecting a dude.
Oh, why? I'm not going to be able to talk. Well, that's a good thing.
Is that necessary?
No, that talking.
That would be appreciated.
I love Telde.
Okay, so you're getting an address.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, congratulations. Your DC to be spotted is going to be much harder.
Corvus cross-dressing is my new fetish.
So, Telde, are you doing anything to disguise yourself, or are you going as your glorious form?
I plan to go as myself.
Okay, so Dingus will take you and Care Gifton and start, scouring the skies. Not going too high as to not get too spotted,
Yep.
And
We're hiding by chimneys and shit like that.
and Corvus will allow you to mount up on him, Corvus. You
Corvus
think?
will let you mount up on it.
Yes.
Klopp
Klopp will allow you to mount up on him, Corvus.
One thing before we head
Yes.
out. Taude.
Yes.
On this basis of disguise, I would assume you will be acting as a type of bodyguard. Is that appropriate?
Within functional parameters.
All right. Klopp is going to be scouting. Yes, Klopp?
Klopp stares at you and slowly moves his head.
We are just there to accompany Klopp and to ensure that we understand where
Accompany?
Yes. Not the musical, just as a companion to follow. Part of a regiment. We are a group.
Autonomous function, not regimental.
Say again?
Autonomous function, not regimental.
Escort?
Affirmative.
Okay. Klopp? It's up to you now.
Klopp waits for you to get up on him.
And we'll seat.
You think that the horse is judging you, whether he is or not. Hard to say, but you feel like it.
We are not going to discuss any of this.
And
Affirmative.
Klopp will start to head down the street. Not
Horse giggle
not-
snort.
not particularly fast. He's not trying to outpace Telde.
I walk normal human speeds.
Yes, as a human does. Okay. Elsewhere in the city, Cass, I am going to be enforcing a level of exhaustion on you because you've been going for about 3 days now.
Okay.
And I'd like
Can
you-
I roll against that?
I'm enforcing 1, and I'm
Okay.
not enforcing 3. I'm just going to have you roll on 1.
So that's a con save.
It's a con save.
At
I
advantage.
get advantage.
Read out to your Tarnstead feat.
Yep.
That's from Weary Traveler. Gives a advantage against where is it? Advantage to checks versus exhaustion and staying awake.
Yep. So you get an advantage on that.
Con save.
I thought that was only versus traveling.
Yeah, I mean, this is a bit of a odd situation as you are doing major physical activity as well.
I remember when we got it, I know down actually the exact wording. The exact wording when we did it that I had.
Staying up or travel.
Or travel with loss of rest.
Yeah, but this isn't just travel staying up. This is running around helping people.
Yeah, but that's not forced. It's not staying up because of travel. It's staying up or.
Oh, okay.
Is what I'm saying. That the or modifies. And saying that makes it apply definitely.
And I'm saying as a DM that's, yeah, sure.
Okay.
If you weren't traveling and you want to stay up, that's fine. The fact that he's running around the city helping people physical activity without stop, because otherwise
There's added levels of exertion.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I need you to roll just without advantage, but you're only rolling once rather than, Okay, you are fine. So you have one level of exhaustion, but that is it.
Where the heck do I put that?
Should be a toggle above your or under your hit die.
Which, if it's not there, you have to hit the gear and turn it on.
Okay.
Okay,
What
exhaustion tracking is under general options, upper right, and go down to the bottom list under ammo tracking.
Ah, there we are. Okay. On.
One
Yeah.
level doesn't do anything to you, but yeah,
Hmm.
good to know.
Well, it's disadvantage on ability
Turn
checks.
it on. But
When I checked one, it didn't do anything.
there it is.
Oh,
You
I
have to
see.
click
It is.
off
Oh,
of
it
it.
is. Yeah, there we
I
go.
took mine
Okay,
up and click off, and
yeah.
it definitely has one.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
click off.
I have. Well, I have two. I only have one, so I have disadvantage on ability checks.
Yeah, you've been going for about 3 days straight so far. Your body is aching, your eyes burn at points, and you have to sort of shake yourself awake repeatedly. You've been helping out where you can. You've gotten some people out of sticky situations, civilians that shouldn't be there when a fight's kicking off, some guards that are vastly outnumbered and look like they're at danger of being, killed.
Basically, I'm trying to
Yeah,
keep it.
you've not been
going
picking
too
sides.
far.
You're just trying to keep things from escalating.
Yeah.
It's heading away from one of these altercations that you actually hear a cry for help from a nearby building. Looks to be like a rather large building, set of double doors, slightly cracked open. Sounds like a woman's voice saying, "Please, no, stop!"
Cass is going to blow through the doors.
Okay, you charge in.
I'm going to try and take the doors off the hinges if I can.
Um,
Dynamic entry, baby.
well, the doors are ajar, so they will just swing open. Do you want to actually take them off the hinges?
Yes, Cass is
Okay.
going in hard.
Roll me a strength check, please.
Disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
Disadvantage?
Yep.
It's an ability.
Okay, you don't quite take one of the doors off the hinge. However, it does really slam back against the wall, and you can hear that sort of reverberation of wood. And as you rush on in, this looks to be like a meat locker of sort. You can feel the sort of chill air in here, and off in the corner you can actually see packed ice, which is it's quite a sight. And there are tons of, looks like perhaps bovine carcasses hanging from hooks.
Oh, yay. Slaughterhouse.
It's a slaughterhouse, and you head on in. Give me a perception check, please.
Regular? Or is this a disadvantage?
Disadvantage. Okay, you hear sound from further in amongst all of these hanging pieces of meat, but it's hard to pinpoint exactly where.
Cass is going to slowly move in and continue to listen. She's going, if the way the building is set up,
Mm-hmm.
she's going to try and keep one wall to a side.
Okay, do you want to go left or right? Just from the outside, the building looked pretty square, so...
Left side.
Okay, you go up along the left wall. Going up along the left wall, you manage to keep clear of most of the hanging carcasses, not too close to you. You can see various implements on the walls, big hacksaws, all that kind of stuff. And you move deeper in. Are you trying to be quiet, or are you just going ahead?
Going ahead. Cass doesn't do stealth.
Okay, so you head in. Give me another perception check. Okay. This time you hear a muffled cry. Sounds like that same voice trying to call out but unable to speak, and then a clanking from the center of the room.
Cass is going to orbit in.
Okay, you start to. You taking wide circles in, or are you heading straight through?
Wide circles in because
Okay, you start to
Cass is starting to get very, very nervous about this.
You start to circle in. As you head inwards, you've got to start pushing some of these carcasses aside to move through them. And it causes this clanking of chains. And then you hear another clanking of chains, only this isn't from anything you've moved. It seems to be coming off to your left. And then there's another clanking off to your right. And Cassie.
Yes.
I would like you to put your token down about here.
I'm not seeing anything. Let me zoom this out.
You may have to center the map.
It might just be easier for you to drag your token
Oh,
out,
there it is.
Ollie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nope, I see it.
Right, there you go. Right, and the carcasses are a lot more thickly pressed than this, but I figured not crowd the map. And guess, as you're sort of pushing some of these carcasses aside to try and peer through, you see a movement of red going by just over here.
And where are the doors?
Doors are down here. You headed up along the left and then started to circle in.
Yep. Cass is not taking Tempest / Michael out of the sheath, but she's half drawing.
Okay, so you've got your hand on your blade, ever so slightly drawn at the ready.
Yep.
Alright, you staying put, or are you moving?
She's going to continue to move.
Okay, go ahead and do a full movement.
Okay. Well, I heard the noise coming from the center.
That's where you heard a loud clanking and that muffled cry, yeah.
So, 5, 10, 15, 20.
Okay, you come to the centre of the room, and hanging just below some of these hanging bodies, there is a large grate that you see blood draining into. Seems to be ever so slightly ajar.
Cass is looking around for the half second. Is anyone down there?
No, but we're up here. And Cass, I'm going to need you to roll initiative for me.
No.
Now, is this a surprise round?
Nope. That's why you're just getting. You are not surprised because you're cautious, and they are not surprised because they know you're here.
And they
Well,
announced
I was actually asking because of feral instinct.
Yeah, but you're not surprised.
Okay. Dang, because I really wanted
A
that.
surprise round, Toby, is when they get to act and you don't.
Yeah.
So
Or vice
because
versa.
Yeah.
Okay, so with initiative, is that considered an ability? For
Yes,
terms of
unfortunately it is. I believe
Oh, okay.
initiative is an ability check.
Yeah, it
Okay,
is.
so that goes to normal.
Hey, very nice.
Nice roll.
Wow.
You just roll it again while clicking on your token this time, but you can put that one in. Okay, and Annie will roll,
Still strong second roll.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to bring these to the top layer because they are not being sneaky. They were talking to you.
Meat golems.
If I can actually click properly.
What? Oh no.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
And we'll roll
Oh
for
no.
that one, and for that one.
Oh,
Toby, make sure to adjust your initiative.
I did. It changed back.
Let me do it for you real quick. Oh. No, there you go.
God damn it! By 0.1?
Yep, that's hilarious.
no.
Wow.
The tiebreakers in there.
Okay, and Cass, you see pushing aside some of these bodies and just taking a casual step forward. a large red-skinned humanoid, chains wrapped around it. Some of them seeming to move of their own accord, and definitely unnatural eyes staring at you. As it steps forward. Yeah, that is that one. It comes up to here. And suddenly lashes a chain out at you. 12 does not meet your AC, I'm pretty sure.
Oh no, not right now. Definitely not.
And then a second swing.
Nope. I have my shield with me, so no.
Do you have your shield equipped?
Let me check my list.
Because
according to this, I
you've
do
been
not.
running around for a few days.
No,
did you have it?
I will not. But it is on me, so
Okay.
17. That will hit.
Okay. Right. So you take 10 slashing damage, and you feel this chain wrap around you. And then it is your turn.
So I'm grappled, which means I can't move.
Yeah, unless you try to do a breakout.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's one of those creatures that grapples when it hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in this case, you have grapple, and because of the effect, you also have the restrained
Yep.
effect.
What is restrained?
It's you can't do anything. You have
Your
to break
movement
out.
is 0. You cannot benefit from any bonus of speed. Attack rolls against you have advantage, and your attack rolls are disadvantage, and your disadvantage in dex saving throws.
Yeah, so definitely something you want to break out of.
Luckily, breakout should be an athletics check.
Yes.
There, that helps, right?
Yes. But you are disadvantaged at making an athletics check. So.
Unless she rages.
Yep.
Well, at this point, rage is a good point. So I am expending my bonus action, activating my rage.
Mm-hmm.
He is not within range to take the zap. Or it's a 10-foot aura, so that would be 5, 10 to.
He's
Basically
right
square.
outside.
Yeah, he's just out of it.
So I am now raging. I'm going over everything that I have going.
But that should put you at advantage with strength checks, which means normal for the breakout.
So normal athletics to break out.
Very nice. You easily flex and make these chains go loose on you as you hear a couple of links snap.
And Cass is just looking at it like, really?
Right.
But
Anything else?
Cass knows better because she's angry, but she ain't stupid right now.
Mm-hmm.
So Cass is actually going to. I have my full movement, yes?
Yeah. Yep, you used an action to break free. You can now move.
But I cannot attack.
Nope, because you used the
Right.
action to break free.
Okay. Then Cass is doing something Cass normally doesn't do. 5, 10, 15, 20,
Hoof it.
You gonna hoof it?
5, 5, 10, 15, 40, 45, 50, 60.
Oh, you run into the door.
Yep.
Okay, very nice.
I have a question, Allie.
I'm Addy.
We forget. What are the blue things on the map? 'Cause I was...
Ice blocks.
Ice.
Yeah.
Okay,
Very
I was
bad.
curious.
Very badly done ice blocks.
it's fine. I was just like, I wonder if they're magical things, and that's how they keep it cold. It is magic. 'Cause
Right.
it's ice.
So, you run to the door, Tobes.
Yep.
Okay.
It is this incredibly fast backpedal.
Right. As you do that, you hear more clanking of chains, and and you can hear footsteps approaching you. It's a little hard to see entirely, but as you glance back, you can see one of them is pursuing you, a grin on its face. Leaving so soon? Can't have that. And you see it just sort of wave its hand, and then you hear rattling the chains around you.
Oh no.
As
Oh.
suddenly, somebody seemed to animate on their own, snapping into a strange kind of life almost.
Oh no.
And suddenly, these hanging chains whip at you.
Okay.
Ooh.
Chain devils control.
Oh no, I'm
chains.
dragging too many fiends.
Not the meat.
I mean, technically, if it's on the chains, they're kind of swinging around now, too.
Yeah, one of the ones up here, which I've accidentally got the meat instead of the chain, but you get the impression, does actually swing a great big thing of meat at you. As these chains lash out at you. Oof. Okay, I think that one hits.
It gets their same
Yeah.
attack.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, chain devils are nasty, yo. You're raging, so you take half that. Then another chain, which misses, I'm pretty sure.
The heck is going on?
Well, actually, no,
Yeah.
you're grappled, so advantage.
Oh, restrained.
Restrained, yeah. But restrained gives advantage on attacks, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was just probably
Yeah.
saying it wasn't the grapple effect, it's the restrained
Right.
effect.
Okay, so half of 7.
So 3.
Oh, that one misses entirely still. And
That's the one with the meat.
no, the one with the meat is actually slightly out of range. I'm not letting them move too
Oh.
far away from their moorings.
I like the idea that the meat's like, ha! I can't hold it.
Okay,
Something silly.
so that happens. One of these hanging chains just lashes out and grabs around your haunches, Cass. As the other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 starts to pursue you, and this one you can see his face very clearly, and suddenly that wicked smile of his becomes oh so familiar as you see the face of your mother staring at you.
Oh.
And it's like, why don't you just stay, sweetie, and join us? I need you to make a DC 14 Wisdom saving throw.
These things are dicks.
They're chain devils.
And that's normal. Wisdom saving throw. No.
Oh.
You are frightened of this creature. This visage of your mother just seems wrong, unnatural, and it shakes a part of you that doesn't feel good.
It's your mom without her lower body.
All right, it's your turn, Cass.
On the plus side, the major negative to frightened.
Is
You
you
already
gotta
have.
run away?
Well, no, the disadvantage on ability checks.
Oh, yes.
And attack rolls.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, you got disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls, which you already have, and you can't willingly move closer to that. But as you're trying to get away anyway, that doesn't really hurt that much.
Okay. So...
Unfortunately, she lost her rage.
No, I took damage.
Yeah, she took damage.
Oh,
damage.
yeah, she took damage from me.
And
Yeah.
So
pretty sure, I'm guessing the chains are actually a thing. So
They are a thing.
She'd be adjacent to an
Yeah.
enemy then.
okay. So first to break free.
All right, you break free. You snap this chain as easily as you did the last, and the doors are right there, and still open as you sort of just bash them open.
Okay. Cass knows she's outmatched.
Mhm.
She's pissed about being outmatched.
Mhm.
And this thing just took the form of her mother to try and taunt her.
Mm-hmm.
God, I wish I had lightning bolt right now.
You do.
No, I don't.
It's third day.
Yeah,
But
but
I didn't.
thought you said
I
she
haven't
hasn't
taken a
rested.
long rest.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, never mind.
But if you let me have it, I'll gladly use it.
I'll let you have it if you want to take another 2 levels of exhaustion.
Oh fuck no.
Negotiate. You can do it.
Alright,
On
what are you
the
doing,
plus
Cass?
side,
You've
that
got
would
your
be
movement and
four.
your bonus action still.
Well, I can't zap him. But Cass is going to scoot out the door because Cass knows she can't take this.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a little too far out of her league. And as she exits out the door, she's turning back to the one with her mother's face and goes, "Just so you know," flips the thing, the bird, "Fuck you, Mom," and slams the door behind her.
Okay, you slam the door behind you, and you're going to keep moving.
Oh yeah,
Alright, you hear some
I'm
laughter
I'm
from
going to
behind
grab
you.
one of the guards nearby. Point at the butcher shop and go, "Butcher shop's haunted."
Yeah, you got to run down the street a bit to find some guards who seem haggard on patrol, but you're able to point that out, say butcher shop's haunted, and
Butcher shop's haunted.
the guard gives you a very weary look.
And this is, they probably have seen her around, not flinching at anything.
It's a very
and
big city.
She's just like, and she's cut up at this point.
These guards do not know you, but
Okay.
they see you very haggard yourself, cut up, saying butcher shop's haunted. And goes, miss, you're okay? There's someone, maybe we should get you looked at. And he looks at your head as if trying to see if you've taken a blow.
To be fair, you probably
She's
have.
just like, "Nope, butcher shop's haunting. Going back to the next day."
Okay, ma'am, be careful.
Be careful going in there. They chains. They're not quite humanoid.
But yeah, no, there seems to be no pursuit after you close those doors. Alright, and moving over to the lovely, lovely den of Lynn.
Dreams.
Yes, thank you. Carrick,
Yes.
you've been here, a good day now. You settled down for sleep at some point, and as you slumbered, once again, you feel like you are floating. Your body weightless, suspended in nothing, surrounded by darkness dotted with twinkling lights. You feel yourself turning, and coming to view as you do, you see it, the big, beautiful orb that you know is your home, your world. Actually, because we've changed the name, because Ocarina sucked.
Oh no!
Yes.
It's not my world anymore.
Despite it being so far away as to make it look as if you could hold it in your arms, you feel peace gazing upon it, and the twinkling stars around you. As you look to one of those dots of light, it winks out of existence, as if smothered by something you cannot see. And then another one goes. And another. As they wink out, one after the other, you can feel a sense of dread building within you. And then the last one goes out, and all that is left is the shining orb of Aisling, seeming all the brighter now it's alone in the dark. And you wake up.
Galactus is coming. Sorry, I couldn't skip it.
Hungry.
Gonna look around.
You look around.
Does this place actually have like day night in like?
There is no day and night cycle. However, she does seem to dim the lights when she sleeps, and brighten them when she wakes. There are magical floating motes essentially in here.
Oh wait, shit, that's right. I'm gonna click this because someone got a new smart ability, and I can't find my characters. I
That'd
now
be very
have
necessary thing for you to have.
keen mind. I know the exact number of hours left before the next sunrise or sunset.
Okay, cool. Say about let's see, this time of year, this working morning. You have roughly 10 hours until the next sunset.
Okay, so it's kind of midday. I'm not mathing that badly, am I? It's like getting into evening.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Um,
What? It's not in the evening
Wait.
until the next sunset.
Sunset.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So it's early in the morning right now.
Yes. So
That's early morning.
RJ, I imagine you're probably awake, having done this sort of little trancing.
Yeah, she's done the transfer. She's probably just, since there's not much else to be doing, probably just kind of shadow boxing in the corner.
Mm-hmm. And Lynn seems to be still slumbering.
Kirk's gonna get up, just kind of stretch and kind of shake out. Damn dreams.
Or did you just kind of twitch, just drink up while you're up?
I had a dream again.
I mean, dreams are a usual night thing, ain't they? I mean, for you and others.
Well, I mean, I'm half like you, but no,
But
the
yeah,
dream
but
that
you sleep,
made
I
me-
don't.
the dream that made me go try to find that priestess again.
Mm.
But worse this time. All the stars went out.
That's, I don't know, maybe not good.
No,
I don't
think
really know
it
how
was-
connected our dreams are to the world around us at this point.
I have no idea either. Kind of wish I'm going to try to get back to sleep.
May as well.
Okay. You settle back down, Carrick, trying to shake your dream from your mind so you can get a bit more shut-eye. RG, disturbed from your little shadow boxing bout, you're left alone in this cavern once more, and looking out at the fast horde Din has, you feel not quite a tug, but a slight draw, as if to a specific spot in it.
She'll kind of move towards this light, trying not to wake either of the two sleepers up.
As you start to head forward, that pull seems to grow a little bit stronger. And as you move over, having to skirt around the edges of this horde a bit, you get a more distinct impression of where exactly it's calling you. There seems to be a case buried into the side of a mound of coins.
She's kind of look at it like, that's gonna make a fucking racket. And should I just roll perception to see if I can figure out maybe if there's a way I could move it without
Yeah, go for it.
causing a fucking avalanche?
Quick,
Wow,
suddenly
very
just
nice.
all the coins.
There's no way to actually sort of path yourself to it exactly. However, there are some tapestries and pillows and such nearby. Seem to be very, very nice quality. In fact, surprisingly, they've kept in this cave. But you think if you press those against the coin pile, you could stop too much from it shifting as you pulled it out?
Okay, she'll actually do that, like getting the tapestry, setting them, just trying not to damage anything, because, not her stuff.
Yeah, you settle these things down gently and just enough weight against them to try and hold these coins in place, and you feel fairly confident.
Okay, and then she'll try and move the case.
Okay, you're able to pull the case out pretty easily. It's not too big. It's looks like it could hold a disassembled flute or something. And there's a little shifting of coin, a little bit of tinkling of metal against metal, but not enough to rouse the dragon. Carrick, I would like you to make a perception check, though. And if you'd like, RG, you can do a sleight of hand to see how well you do this. Okay, and
I
yeah,
will say passive 15.
passive is 15. Okay,
16.
16. Okay. In that case, yeah, you hear a bit of shifting coin, Carrick. You've heard it over the past day or so as, you and RG have gone about, accidentally disturbed things a little bit.
Yeah. Just gonna kind of roll over.
Yeah. And RG, you see Carrick roll over, but seems to continue his attempts to sleep.
And Reggie's actually going to move to the bottom of the stack so she's away from the pile and actually sit down and look the case over.
Okay. It seems to be a fairly simple case. It's wooden, looks like some kind of birch, and very, very rusted hinges. In fact, the wood seems to be in better condition than the metal does. But
Well,
there's no lock on it.
She's gonna try and pop it open. I'm imagining that's gonna make a hell of a noise.
Okay, you start to open it, and it's actually tough to get it moving at first, and there is that horrible sound of rusted metal being opened up, which Carrick, you do hear clearly this time. Lynn, however, just seems to keep sleeping.
I'm gonna look towards the sound. I take it I see.
You see RG sitting against the just near a pile, and doesn't look like she's up to much. Back's a little towards you. But it seems like the sound came from her.
I'm gonna kind of get up and wander towards that way.
Okay, RG, when you open up the case, it looks like a broken end of a staff of some kind. You can see some very simple inlaid metal at the end of wood. Maybe it was a mace, maybe it was a bow staff. It's hard to tell. But you hear Carrick's footfalls coming up behind you.
She's just gonna actually turn with the case still in hand and go. The thing was calling to me like it wanted me to find it.
Kirk kind of
And she actually looks kind of weirdly perplexed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna wave my hands in front. Make sure follow my hands.
She's gonna give him a very flat stare at that.
What? I was charmed by something. Maybe it charmed you. I don't know. I could check. I mean, could ask Grandma about it when she wakes up. If she knows anything about it. Kind of peer in.
It seems like a very simple piece of wood with metal on the end, Carrick.
Do I see the engravings too, or no?
There are no engravings on it. Which I don't remember describing engravings.
Okay, I may be going crazy, so that's perfectly possible.
I actually have it open enough to lift it out.
Yeah.
RG's actually going to lift it out and just kind of look it over.
Okay, as your hand goes for it, just before you touch it, you can feel a voice, seemingly not in your mind, but coming from around you, just saying, "This cannot be the end." Do you still want to touch it?
Her hand kind of stops for a second, and then she just kind of doubles down and just touches it and grabs it.
Okay, as you touch it, you feel a pulse of energy coming from the object and seeming to search for your arm, and it feels like it warms you briefly inside. And suddenly a barrage of visions and emotions assail you. You can see a humanoid figure, seems to be a gentleman, greying hair, a smartly cut beard. You're getting glimpses of different actions, different moments. You can see him doing moves quite similar to yours. You can see him hitting people with his fist and them seemingly locked in place despite no visible sign that he's hit anything important. You can see him catching missiles fired at him from midair, and you can see figures around him doing the same. Not only that, you can see him learning to wield a weapon. It looks like a long staff that he becomes quite adept with, rapidly so, and the blows from it seem to do far more than any weapon of that fragile nature should possibly be able to do. and you are getting flashes of emotion, pride, anger, happiness. And as these visions seem to progress, his training improving, those emotions dull and die down until you feel nothing from him, and you see no smile, no joy on his face, no anger on his face, as he seems to be carrying out duties. And then these visions end. But you feel like you just had years and years of knowledge poured into your mind. You feel like you could move as he moved. You feel like those actions you saw him do, you feel like you've trained for those actions day after day after day.
Archie's actually going to take the thing and go, hey, Garrick, this is going to sound weird, but touch this.
Gives RG a look like, okay, and gonna reach out, touch thing.
Yeah, it's a bit of wood. Nicely smoothed.
I mean, smooth and well
Did you-
made?
Get anything, like, in your head?
No. Should I
Okay,
have?
because, like, well, I thought this thing basically got a guy's entire life story.
Gonna go back to my bag, pulling out a stick, waving a stick around,
Mhm.
and probably gonna go blind from doing this. Actually, I'm tempted to just cast.
I would not do that in
Yeah.
Sword.
Yeah, I'm just gonna cast Identify directly on.
Okay, you cast an identify on the stick.
Yes.
It's a stick.
Doesn't seem to be anything magical about it. At least not anything that the spell could tell. Gonna find out that we haven't. Oh God, we haven't done this to anybody's. Oh God, out of character.
And
we haven't
Archie's
done this
actually
a
going to-
message yet.
Archie's actually going to put it back in the case and put the case open against you. You want to make god awful noise again.
Mhm.
Back at the base of the pile.
Okay. As you put it back in the case, and your hand leaves the object, just as your fingers are sort of hovering above it, you hear that voice again saying, "Do not let this be the end."
She'll just kind of think to herself, I don't think it will be.
Okay, and you put the object back down, and it's you feel a bit disorientated. You have got those flashes of images, and it feels like your mind is still trying to sort through them, try and make sense of exactly what you saw. Some of them blurring together, some of them seemingly unrelated. And you probably do with just sitting down and mulling it over.
That's, yeah, what she's going to do just until Lynn gets up, just sit down and think on it.
The proper wine.
Yeah. What about you, Carrick? You going back to bed?
Sleepy time.
Okay. Alright, so these lazy bones are going to sleep the day away.
Well, I mean, it's, still before wakey time. Gonna make sure I'm up.
That's before waking time for him, and I've already had my sleep.
Okay.
I just watched the heat death of the universe happen. I need to get some more sleep, damn it.
I don't like this vision cave.
No, I don't.
Are you sure you want to go to sleep again? That's where you just saw this horrible death thing.
Yes.
Eric doesn't want to visit Grandma no more.
Okay.
So far, it's happened every time I sleep, but only once.
Back to Colthwaite. Gifting and Care.
We had a totally normal time, and now we're okay.
On the dingus. You have been flying around.
Sorry, just the wording. On the day.
Oh my.
You have been flying around, keeping an eye out for Cass and trying to help where you can. The fighting seems to be continuing in the streets. It seems to be less walls of people pressing and throwing things. Now it seems to be more roaming groups and tired guards trying to block off points, corner people, while not getting caught out in another brawl. But occasionally you do come across injured groups, civilians that look like they've just been beaten and left in the streets, guards trying to, carry injured buddies away. seemingly heading for medical stations.
We'll stop for any of them.
Okay. How much healing would you like to expend?
How many hurt people are there?
Let's give you a roll. You can
The
care.
city.
I'll say you've been flying around for about an hour now, okay? And you have come across 9 injured people.
Okay. I will blow all of lay on hands.
You'll
All
blow
25 points.
all 25 points? Okay.
Trying to save my spells.
Okay. And Care is going to help with that. He's actually going to put an additional 10 healing into that.
Mhm.
And yeah, you're able to get people back up on their feet. Some not entirely healed up. Some of those guards still look pretty beat, but they're able to move again. They're able to walk by their own power. And you get a lot of thanks. Some nervous thanks from a few people as they see what you are. And one man actually seems to, as he awakens to your touch, scream to get away from him. And he scrambles back desperately and runs off down an alleyway. Which Care looks sadly at, and he just gives you a little squeeze around the shoulders.
I just kind of give him a bit of a hug back and go, you know, back in Tarnstead, if you told me people would scream and run at the sight of us, I would have thought we were eating bad berries.
Yeah, yeah, but hey, I guess we're very scary now.
Oh, rawr.
Yeah, rah. Still no sign of Cass.
Yeah, no sign. I don't. Maybe she's inside somewhere.
Maybe. I suppose if we go a bit lower, we can try and look in through windows, bottom floors.
Yeah, let's do that. Dingus, you want to fly a little low for a bit?
Meep meep. And
Oh,
Dingus
such a good boy.
pops his head, and soon
And
you're.
actually, I will make sure I hit something because I had to cast this at level 3, and I want to make sure it consumed the spell slot.
Mhm.
So, I cast. Where is the spell? I cast Tarnstead. But
Okay.
yeah, it needs to take a 3, so I'll just take a 3 out there.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So as you get back up at Dingus and you resume your flight, feels like you're going for another 15 minutes or so before. You give me a perception check, actually, please. And you can have it at advantage because Care's going to help you.
Okay.
Very nice.
Wow.
Okay. From an alleyway that you passed, and you could have sworn was clear, you actually hear a voice coming, calling for help. Male voice going, "Somebody, please, she's hurt."
And I'll go over that way. I think it's over that way.
Beep,
Come on.
beep, beep. And Dingus quickly
We'll head over
banks
there.
and flaps back over.
Goodbye, everybody.
Tricky little
And,
bastards, aren't they?
As you reach the alleyway, you see a man crouched over by a woman that's slumped up against the wall. There's a lot of debris around, trash, large pieces of wood. Looks like it's just an alleyway, shops tossed there, pallets and shit into.
Yeah.
And,
I will
yeah.
rush over to go help heal.
And-
I will start with a stabilizing touch because that's the quickest thing to do.
Okay, so you, Dingus will land as per usual, and you and Care hop off to start helping. And as you run over to her and hit her with stabilizing touch, you feel life in the body.
What happened?
Oh shit! I don't know. Something struck her in the back, and she just collapsed here.
Oh no. Can you pull her back a bit so we can see?
Here, and he leans her forward a bit.
Do I see anything?
You heading around back to look?
Yeah.
Okay. As you head around back to look, you can see one of her arms sort of, that very awkward angle when an arm gets caught behind someone's back, elbow bent back a bit. One of her arms is behind her back like that, and seems to be an object in her hand.
What is it?
Give me an investigation check.
No idea.
Yeah, it's just looks like a strange orb, and then her finger lifts,
Oh no.
and there is a sudden of this noxious gas that quickly runs over you, and you hear Kegel Gifton, and then you hear more sounds from back where he was, and Dingus is panicked meeping, and I need you to make me a con save, please.
Is this magical poisons?
It's not.
Oh. Okay. Oh no.
Okay, and that is the last thing you remember.
Oh.
Okay, Telde and Corvus.
Yes.
You are riding merrily down the street. It's a lovely day. You can feel the wind blowing up your dress in ways that really aren't familiar to you. It's a bit awkward riding with a dress on. Did you get up on him as you normally do, or did you ride side saddle? How have you mounted Klopp?
You're not getting out of this without embarrassment.
You're wearing a dress.
Come
you're
on,
fine.
man.
We're
Side
going-
saddle it. Just do it right.
Fine. Do it right.
Yeah. So you're riding side saddle. Your legs kicking ever so daintily. Telde keeping pace with you, and Klopp seems to be taking weird twists and turns. He'll head down one street, and then, even though it looks like he's trying to swerve left, suddenly he seems to catch something, and he changes direction. Sometimes it seems to be avoid a mob that you then see come from that street. Sometimes it seems to be for no reason. And you realise you are starting to approach the great big cathedral in the centre of the city. By a bit of an odd route, but heading there nonetheless.
Corvus, Courtney.
Okay, I'm glad you've chosen a disguised name.
Um,
Corvina.
Corvina. Really, I mean, it's just up to Klopp. He's just there.
You
to
just let him
keep-
go.
Yeah, he's just there to keep eyes out to see if there's things that should be noted. If Klopp decides that this is an area, to make sure he tries to remember it precisely as possible.
Okay, and Klopp starts to approach onto that great big plaza, essentially, that circles the cathedral. You can see not as many as there were before, but there is still a guard presence around the cathedral. The doors seem to be closed and barred. But Klopp doesn't go all the way. He seems to sniff at the air a bit before casually sauntering over to what looks to be a sewer grate. And he just stays there, staring down at it. And you can feel a sight quivering and shifting beneath you.
Corvus, who like Courtney, will let go of the cane that's laid across his lap, and pat Klopp on the side of his neck. Is there anyone particularly around?
There's those guards lining the cathedral. They do not seem to be paying you much mind as you're keeping your distance. Otherwise, there doesn't seem to be anyone around. You just hear the sound of distant shouts.
Let it all out.
Corvus will lean towards Klopp, says, in a whisper, "All right, maybe it's down in the sewers, you think? We should probably just go back and check in with everybody. We may want to do this not in the bright of light here, probably in the cover of darkness."
Yeah, you see his head turn as if he's regarding those around him, and then turns the other way, and one of those eyes just fixes on Tell.
Look back.
The horse lets out a snort at you, Tell. You do not know what it means. Corvus, it sounds a little frustrated.
Query.
Corvus will slide off of Klopp's back and stand by the grate, kind of take him in the front with the reins.
Mhm.
So it's kind of more direct. If we do this now, there's going to be a lot of suspicions. If he's in the sewers, we can come back later.
The horse does not respond to your query, Telday.
Would you like grate removed?
The horse bobs its head.
All right.
Talday, doing this in the open is not.
Oh God! I
fine.
put Clock in Tarnstead! Why did I
Good
do that?
job.
Didn't we talk before session that I shouldn't be allowed to plan or make decisions?
Hey, Gifton, you're not allowed to do first contact anymore either.
I fucking love it, I think.
You and Corvus.
Corvus,
man.
I'm going to allow you a persuasion check on
Okay.
Klopp.
Okay. Corvus is a bad bedside manner, so you think this is going to go well? Oh.
Oh, pretty good. Let's we're just gonna roll a thing to measure Klopp's force of will here. Okay.
Ooh.
Klopp stares at you very fixedly, Corvus, as Telday starts to move towards the crate before it lets out another huff and seems to slam a hoof down on the grate. And Telday, the horse, shakes its head at you.
Query. Explain.
Nay.
Nay.
Affirmative.
Let us go back to the next egg.
Okay.
See about getting to
Can
Gifton
look
and
to the
pass.
horse.
The horse will turn and start going back the way it came.
Wait, Klopp, wait, I'm not
Going to follow the horse.
Klopp.
Klopp pauses briefly.
Scrambled up inside of Klopp.
Klopp continues.
Clop appreciates the power I have given him.
Cassiopeia.
Shall we inform others?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we should. Do you have means of doing that?
One moment. He's going to pull out his sword. Which, interestingly enough, puts off a slight glow. And then
Look at-
start speaking a few words.
Corvus is going to look at the guards at the cathedral.
You can see a couple of guards just sort of nudging each other, pointing there, like they didn't seem to be moving forward.
They're having a really rough time right now. They don't want
Yeah.
to invite themselves to violence.
Yeah. Okay. You're casting Sending Telday.
Yes.
Who are you targeting?
Gifton.
Gift. Okay.
I'm unconscious.
You just move sound.
Now, don't worry about your message. She's not going to hear it. Okay. So.
And there'll be no response.
Yeah, so you take your masterfully 25-word message and
Sure.
there's no reply.
There is no answer.
There is no answer.
Affirmative.
Sasha. Okay.
That is not appropriate.
Is it a word that he's heard before?
He understands this.
That's not good. She's normally quite pointed on things like this. What I didn't want to happen. Okay. Klopp, are you familiar with gift and scent at all, or dingus?
Klopp tilts his head.
It appears that tracking of
As a friend,
subject
out of
required.
character. Remember what happened the last time you upset Klopp with information.
Yeah, I know. we need to get together as quickly as possible to try to get the resolve of this great. Maybe there's a different passage we can take.
Also,
Somewhat not so open.
give me a insight check, by the way. Actually, not insight. Just a straight intelligence roll, please, Corvus.
Do I use inspiration?
This is supposed to be your good stat.
I know it is, but
I'll tell you, I have regret that I didn't use mine versus con save.
I'm using inspiration.
Okay.
Allie's rolling hot. We're kind of rolling not.
Very nice. Let's see if you get even
Except
higher.
for that.
My one roll I've done so far has been fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
My perception
22.
was amazing.
All right. Corvus, as you're asking Klopp about tracking Gifton, it occurs to you, if Klopp is tracking Aurel's scent, that's very weird, as Aurel didn't come into contact with Falder at all, and that's what Klopp seems to be getting the source from. The only thing that touched Falder from Aurel was a bolt of magical energy.
You could smell magic.
Great, I have an amazing.
I don't have anything that's magically delicious of Gifton.
Mm-hmm.
No, don't talk about the deliciousness of a party member, please.
Yeah, you'd need someone that was touched by Gifton's magic. Recently.
Better find Cass.
This wasn't in the last 3 days.
Yeah. And memory, Gifton didn't do anything particularly in the last day,
Mm-mm.
magically.
But you know she was going out to heal people.
That could literally be a needle in a haystack.
Mhm.
situation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know I'm not being helpful. Just saying.
You're being helpful, just not.
It's not the
Very-
greatest.
You also remember the plan
She's being helpful, but she's not giving you any favors.
because
Yeah.
I didn't respond to ascending, but you remember the plan.
To meet back at the nest egg, the next egg
By sundown.
by sundown.
And if I don't make it, something's wrong.
Right. But Corvus is knowing something's wrong now. That's the problem.
Yeah, the problem.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Or that is also the thing. Is it, or was I just not responding to the sending?
I think you are bubbly enough to respond to ascending.
If she's at
But-
a point where she can't talk, though, then
Yeah.
What are you doing, Corvus?
Also, if they got me in care, they could get you until they.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
Maybe.
your hand size, they're not.
He doesn't
Out
know
of
what
character.
happened. He
I don't
doesn't
just
know.
But no, I mean for they.
Right,
They
so
can
what
get
are you doing,
I'm-
Corvus?
Okay. Klopp.
Ask Regiel for help.
Go upstairs.
You are apparently drawn to some sort of magical scent, a scent of magic. I don't understand it, but can you sense healing? What she does when she touches people, her hand glows and it heals them. Uh, can you find that?
Klopp presses his snout against you and seems to do a snort and then an inhale.
Okay.
And then he stares at you fixedly.
But
He doesn't remember what I smell like. He needs something.
I know. I got nothing. I'm.
I hate to say it, man. The best thing you can do is get off the street.
Yeah.
Right,
I,
you're
I,
gonna head
I,
back.
I want you to find me. I want you to save me. But for the love of God, don't get caught on the street. It's really dangerous right now, apparently.
Maybe there's something in the tavern, the Vardo. Maybe something of hers in the Vardo. Who goes there? Let's tell Day. Let's head back.
Would
Come
you
on,
like
Klopp.
me to patrol?
I don't want anyone else getting separated alone. It's already bad enough. What time of day is it? Generally speaking, because I don't have keen mind.
It's for you. It's about midday.
Oh, shit. This is bad. This is bad.
So you're gonna start heading back to the tavern.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Corvus is walking now. He's done with.
Okay. All right. Cass.
Yes.
You escaped your altercation with those strange creatures, and where are you going?
She is not making a beeline for the next egg, but she is meandering around
Mhm.
and not engaging.
Okay.
After that attack, wow.
She is maneuvering around. She is making herself plainly visible.
Mhm.
And she's moving towards old hotspots that she knew as she makes her way back.
Okay. As you
Just kind of to cause anyone who's in the area who's thinking about trying to start shit up again, see her roam by and just go, nope.
Okay. But you are heading to the next egg, just at a not direct path.
Yeah.
Okay. As you journey along, you see what's been a common sight: mild vandalism, little scuffles outbreaking. One group of civilians seem to hurl insults at you from far away, and don't seem to be willing to hurl insults particularly close to you. But you don't bump into any trouble, and soon enough you find yourself back at the next egg.
Yay.
Which
Some safety.
you're able to head on in, and doesn't seem to be anyone here. The store was empty, no Klopp, no one indoors.
Oh, that's weird. No Klopp.
But there does seem to be a piece of paper on the table where Fowler's body was previously resting.
A piece of paper. Okay. Cass is going to. First things first. Cass is going up behind the bar, grabbing something minor to eat real quick,
Okay.
like a fruit, bunch of grapes, whatever, something to drink.
Pile of apples on the floor.
There's a fuckload of apples on the floor for some reason.
Cass is ignoring the apples. She doesn't want to know what the brownie is up to.
There's no fruit out, but there does seem to be some bread and cheese on a cutting board.
Grabbing a hunk of cheese, grabbing a hunk of bread.
All right, the bread does
Is
not
bad.
It's not rotten or moldy, but it is stale. Cheese is fine
That's
now.
fine.
Yeah.
After 3 days, anything tastes good.
Yeah, so you devour that quite hungrily.
Then she's grabbing something to drink, wandering over to the table and looking at the note.
Okay. You see the note that was composed so gracefully by Gifton earlier.
And what does the note say?
I believe it says RG, Carrick, Cass went looking for Cassiopeia. We'll be back by sundown. If not, come looking for us? Question mark.
And it's got everybody's name on it, if I remember right.
Yeah, it has Gifton, Care, Corvus, Dingus, Klopp, and Telday.
Who the fuck is Telday?
Telday's a day of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will point out that you might think
to help her?
you might think that means that I wrote that note on Telday.
I should say, what day of the week is it?
Right
Not
now,
Telday.
it is. I can actually give you. It is all day today.
Remember, Thaldir died on Telday.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why we were at that service.
Yes, it is all day today.
But it wasn't written as if it were we went out on Telday. It was
It just
like
says and
someone-
Telday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so-
Telday.
So Cass is going to move over to a bench, kind of push the table out of the way. I assume the tables can be moved, or are they mounted? to the
Nah,
wall?
the wall ones do seem to be pressed into
Mounted to
place.
the wall.
Yeah. The center tables can, however, be moved.
All right. Cass is going to move the center tables a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of flip them on their side, create a barricade for her.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
Goodbye,
she's going to flop down.
Okay.
And she's going to lock the door before she does.
That's the bit I was waiting for. Okay, you lock the door. Okay.
Here's the problem with that. Raise your hand if you have the key.
She
Oh,
can
look, mine's up.
she can
You
bolt.
can
She can
bar a
bolt.
door on
Yeah,
the
she
inside.
can
Bolt
bolt.
it, yeah.
She can bolt it from inside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just
like,
saying,
you
I
close
have
door
the
from
key.
inside. You don't.
Yeah, no, the problem is us.
I have the key.
Yeah. Okay. Right, very nice,
I
Cass.
mean, last time she literally teleported right in the middle of the place anyway.
And you
Well,
actually,
I mean, they're
yeah.
talking about Telday and
you actually,
Corvus.
you actually going to take a rest, Cass?
Yes.
Okay.
Find the little blanket,
Right.
pull it up.
Du-du-du.
But she's also, as she goes to sleep, she's grabbing rations out of her bag and putting them somewhere nearby because she knows when she wakes up she's going to regret life and be hungry.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Back to the cave. Argy and Carrick. There is that sudden sound of a great form starting to move. You can hear waters being, what's the word? Not lashed. That's the wrong word. Not
Sloshed?
Sloshed. Yeah, that'll do. Sloshed about as Lynn's form starts to rise. A long sigh escaping her.
Oh, and the word you're looking for is churned.
Churned, thank you.
I wasn't sure exactly what you were going for until you finished.
And as she does, those lights
Oh,
around
go
the
back. Go away. You're dead now.
cavern seem to
That'd be-
flare a little brighter.
Oh god, that
Like,
does
it
not
goes
help.
after a second, just go. That's a thing. Ow.
I just out of character physically waved, and I'm like, wait a second,
Yeah,
that
what?
doesn't do anything. So, Carrick kind of.
I'd
Good
like to point out,
morning.
Blackheart's player really loves his fake grandma.
Yay, Grandma, hi.
I mean, who wouldn't love a giant dragon that loves them? I mean,
Lynn's
Your interest.
Lynn's gaze slowly turns around to face you, Carrick, and just rumbles out. "Oh, I hope I didn't wake you."
no, we were both already awake.
I've been awake for hours, but don't really sleep all that much.
Well, I'm sorry. I had to rest longer than I thought. And she
No
slowly
problem.
starts to emerge from the water, stepping out onto the actual cavern floor. But if you are both ready, I can take you home.
Can I ask you a quick question before we go? And Margie's actually going to go over and pick up the case records. Like, I wasn't snooping or anything, but this thing kind of like called to me, and I touched it and got weird memories in my head. Do you have any idea what it is?
And she's going to peer down at it, and you can see her eyes sort of flickering a bit as if she's thinking, oh, that's old. But did you go digging?
It was sticking up out of that thing, and it kind of, I guess the right thing would be called to me, like someone just pulled me there.
Was that the pile my ring was on?
It was not.
Okay, so I'd have to go, no, my ring!
She looks briefly perplexed as you see her
He
gaze.
was like, I apologize, I wasn't trying to snoop or nothing.
You see her gaze go from the spot where you pointed and then gazing over to the larger part of the hoard, as if that should have been deeper in. Before she goes, it's no concern. It belonged to somebody I knew a long, long time ago.
In all the flashes I got, did I get a name?
You do not recall a name. Actually, give me. You've had time to sit and think about this. Give me a just a straight wisdom roll. I'll be nice.
I was sitting here, squinting, going, don't make him do it. Don't make him do it.
Yeah. As you were sorting through these, it feels like they're memories, like your own memories now. As you're thinking about them, they're sort of getting integrated in, and you remember hearing a joyful voice going, "Roland, you're not gonna make it!" Just before this figure ran across water.
Are you just gonna go, was his name Roland?
Oh yes, that was it. Roland Prisk.
It's gonna sound really weird, but I think I have his memories from that thing.
And her gaze suddenly becomes a little more intense, and her head lowers down, and that muzzle moves mere inches from you, as if she's trying to look as closely as she can. You have his memories.
I think so. That's where I got the name from there. And someone says the name right before he was trying to run on water.
Oh, you poor girl.
Is it a bad thing?
If you keep yourself away from conflict, keep yourself from expending, then no.
I'm pretty sure you both already know the answer to that question.
Expending?
And that gaze turns back towards you, Carrick, and you can read Lynn's face a little better. It's just something about that draconic visage that makes sense to you. And she looks almost sorrowful, as she goes, expending herself. Roland Prisk was a monk. That's what they called them in jest. They're officially known as soul burners. Archie, can you do things? Unnatural things?
I mean, I can catch arrows. I can hit stuff really hard. I seem to kind of know a fair amount of pressure points, despite having, I don't recall really ever tested it.
Reflexes beyond measure and strange control over other people's bodies just by touching.
I wouldn't say full strength control, but yeah, definitely able to hit a pressure point just, I guess, on instinct, because I know sure shit I wasn't taught that by
She
my dad.
very slowly shakes her head. Pressure point doesn't matter. Just the fact that you think you are, you believe you are, you're willing that to happen.
Oh.
Every
Okay,
time you
that's
do one of
the
these
hell.
acts, you are burning a little shard of your soul away.
That's a little disconcerting. that the right word? And she's actually gonna look at Carrick like, is that the right word? Disconcerting. Just kind of shrug.
A word you could use for that, yes. There are many concerning, disturbing.
Disturbing, yes. It's not inherently harmful to the body, but, well, you need your soul to feel. You need your soul to be anything but the memory and actions of you.
Was that Lynn coughing?
Yeah.
Fits. Okay. I actually wasn't sure if that was Kronos or you.
Was that why when he got older, he just seemed kind of like he was doing his duty and a lot emptier?
Her head slowly bobs.
Scratched her head.
A great deal of their training went to making sure that feelings did not influence them. A moral code more learned and thought of than felt.
What happened to them?
They tore themselves apart. When they discovered that those whose souls could shed like that could also be taken from by others with the same ability to sustain themselves, the order fell into chaos.
Yeah, that does sound like a thing that would turn things outside up.
I've not seen one of your kind since him. If you want to know more about them, I think the Grand Library in Winden should still have, well, maybe not. It was nigh on, 900 years ago now. Or was it 1,000?
Out of character. You mentioned Jesk. Is that something that exists today?
Jesk?
Yes. I think that's what you said.
What is
Like,
that?
out of character. I've been hearing weird things.
The guy's name was Roland Prez.
No, I heard a name of that Lynn said she hadn't. That was from someone she knew in. I thought she said Jesk.
No. Now you're hearing things.
I honestly, with work have been the last 2 days, I am not surprised. I apologize. That's why I'm honestly not taking notes today, because they will make no sense to me.
You should be able to find something, perhaps. They are not forbidden knowledge, they are not hidden knowledge, they are just irrelevant.
Were they here? Or were they someplace? It's one of the other kingdoms.
They were here in what became Barast. They did not serve one nation.
Okay. Out of character. Did she give me those books to take?
She did indeed.
Okay.
And you were able to spend some of your time sitting around reading that lovely Infernal book.
And made sure
and
to...
when you did, Carrick, you picked up from that very quickly, almost as if the meaning of the words were kind of forcing themselves into your mind. A little disconcerting.
Yeah, we're not letting Grandma know about that. We've learned there's certain things we're not mentioning anymore. That should be one of them, because I want to leave this cave. Because I have friends that I don't want to abandon. And I'm pretty sure, this was happening. Well, you're staying here for the rest of your life.
Well then, little monk and my dear. Shall we take you home?
Oh, do you want me to put this back?
You can keep it.
Well, thank you. Don't you actually go? This is gonna make a terrible noise, and she's gonna close the hinge on the thing.
Oh.
I'm sorry. She'll close the latch and stick it into her bag.
When we get back, I'll try seeing if I can Prestige some of that off.
I'm a big idea.
Clean some of that up.
Right. And you see her form shimmer in that. Now, you've seen it before, maybe the other way around, but her shape shifting down to a humanoid form. This white energy masking the transformation itself. Before she tidily reaches a hand out to each of you.
Take Grandma's hand like a little kid.
Going to take her hand as well.
Carrick, your hand gets a little squeeze. Before with that crackle
Big
of arcane
grin.
energy, and it snap and pop. You find yourselves back in the next egg. Cassiopeia on the floor, seemingly napping, behind a couple of tables.
Getting straighten my hair out because I'm pretty sure every time you teleport, it does the static cling effect.
Yep, totes.
Are you just gonna look and release everybody? And I'm assuming looking around, eyes settle on the note.
Cass, what did you do with that note?
She kind of tossed it back on the table.
Which you then pushed over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you see a piece of paper on the floor.
Just gonna go over, bend down, pick it up, and look at it.
Yeah, you
How,
see the same note
Just
that
read
Gifton
over
left
it.
for everyone else.
what's the condition, by the way,
Of what?
of the tavern? We've
Um,
been gone for a while, so
Lots of tables have been turned over.
there's a fuckload of apples on the floor.
okay.
These tables have been turned over. There's some bread and cheese on the ground by Cass. The door is bolted, but otherwise the tavern's fine. Those scorched wings are gone.
There's beard shavings in a bowl.
Yes, and beard shavings in a bowl.
And Cass has apparently been beaten.
Yes, she's a little bloody.
Can't deal anything with that.
And Carrick,
I'm trying to remember. Was the tavern keeper? Did he have a beard?
No.
No.
And Carrick, your grandmother's still holding your hand, and you can feel her swaying a bit.
I'm gonna catch her. Grandma,
I should go home.
I think that's good. Rest, please.
She nods slowly, and then she gives you a soft hug.
Return the hug.
You be safe, Carrick.
I will.
RG's actually going to turn and go, thank you again, Lynn. Sorry for taxing you so much.
Anything I can do to help. And she smiles faintly.
There's no, well, we don't want to kill you in the process.
Oh, I'm...
Suddenly, Carrick just gets that look of like utter like, wait, what?
And she gently strokes the back of your head, Carrick, when you get that look. She goes, don't you worry, I'm not that far gone yet. And she smiles and then steps back away from you, giving you a small little wave.
Make your wave pack.
And then she pops out of existence.
Grandma's gone
So-
forever.
Giving that look to Archie.
Are you gonna
say
like,
that?
what? Did you look at her? She had to sleep for a fucking day.
I mean, if you were
I
if
felt
you've been
bad. We
around
didn't
as
want
long
to
as her, you probably sleep all day too, and you're an elf.
Yeah, but like, look at her for God's sake. Like, dude, that took a lot out of her. I'm
Yes,
saying,
I know.
We need to not rely on her for that.
That's
month.
that's
Like,
why I've tried not to talk
Allie?
to her that often.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to make a ranged attack against both of them.
Okay.
I want to toss a hunk of cheese at each of them.
Okay.
Use the stale bread.
I would like to ask whether or not she still has the exhaustion in effect for her
She
roll.
does.
It's ability checks, not attacks.
Yes, that's,
Okay,
that's
so
right.
I'm just
do
going
it.
to use my javelin attack. Ignore the damage.
Go for it.
Just ignore the javelin. We're just gonna throw a javelin suddenly.
Hey, just rolling the freaking accuracy.
What's the?
I don't know what the +4 is.
Neither do I.
You have
probably
bless
You have bless on.
turned on.
Why is Bless on?
Again.
Yeah.
Why is
that's
Rage on?
You checked those.
Because you were raging earlier. You forgot to turn it
Yeah,
off.
yeah, I don't think that hits either AC, right?
Yep.
Those
Nope.
are
Cheese goes flying over.
Yeah, so there's a couple of hunks of cheese go flying by you. As Cass seems to stir with your arguing. Well, not arguing. Debating the merits of your grandmother's life.
Gonna mage hand one of the pieces of bread and drop it on Cass.
Okay.
I'm just gonna start eating the piece of cheese I caught.
Oh, dear.
Actually, would you have caught it at that?
Cass is going to throw that
I was gonna
hunk
say,
of
so I
bread
assume
that
that's
just
what
got
you literally
dropped
just-
on her.
I'm assuming she actually reached out and grabbed it in the process.
What was that, Cass?
randomly throwing at one of them. I don't know who dropped it, so
Okay,
you have to
so
pick who you-
food goes flying about, and
I just dropped it. I'm just like,
alright, Cass, I will let you have had a short rest while waiting for them. So, do you want to expend some hit die?
yeah.
Okay.
Because even though I didn't take a lot of damage, I took enough to warrant.
30 so
I mean, remember when you long rest, you get half of yours back, half of your
Yeah.
total back.
So you can spend a couple more.
spend more than one.
Mm-hmm.
You have 9.
That's better.
Oh, I'm gonna say this now. If I
I'm
if I
gonna
just
stop
suddenly
there.
disappear, that means the freezing rain came and I lost power.
Oh no. Okay, and around this time, Tel and Corvus, you will arrive back at the next egg.
All right.
Find the
Do
door.
you need assistance stabling?
No.
Klopp is
let's-
just going to walk into the stables.
He's fine. Let's just get in and reaches for door and tug.
It does not open.
No, I've always wondered this.
Mhm.
Because it all depends on build and everything.
I would assume
Like-
push.
Does pulling on that door make a lot of noise, or is it just
You
kind
you
of,
do hear a rattling of the bolts.
Probably.
Gonna turn?
Archie's actually going to go up to the door and hold the handle
wait.
and just. She's not opening the door. She's actually making a hand signal just to like, you back up, and then like a wiggle finger thing.
Out of character.
Mhm.
Try to remember. Was the tavern thing before we left or after?
Tavern
Which
thing?
tavern thing?
Like being given the key and him leaving.
I
Sure.
think-
Was after.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the key after.
Okay. So I don't know the
He
tavern.
came back on date.
Gone.
Yeah, he came back
Okay.
like
Yeah, the next day after
Yeah.
you guys had already been
Um,
gone.
I'm gonna move over, I guess.
Archie's going to undo the bolt and door, open it wide, so that
And
she's
Allie,
basically writing things.
just to be clear, the key is in my bag of holding on Dingus.
Okay.
So that's where it's at.
Good to know.
That's where it's at.
Also, did I roll a perception to figure out it's Corvus? It's pretty fucking obvious it's Corvus.
Roll me perception. It'd be funny. Oh yeah, it's
Oh,
Corvus.
Yeah, it's Corvus.
Just, you know,
Please,
Just
other
look-
people roll
pause
this.
for a second and immediately look and go, who the hell are you and
Yeah.
why are you in a dress, Corvus?
Carrick, give me a roll.
Sorry.
Cassie, give me a roll.
What sort of roll?
Perception, please. No, that's
Yay!
not Corvus. That is a very comely lady. Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
Corvus.
but just me.
Finally, Carrick found a lady he likes.
No.
It's
She's
a
tall.
very very tall lady. Chiseled features.
Corvus is going to
With a
push
hammer.
past RG. There's
She's as you try and push back, she's playing out. It's like you haven't answered the other question. Who the hell is that?
that is Talday. He was given to us by General.
Greetings, my name is Autonomous Resilient Mechanical
Am I
Soldier.
supposed to attack both of
Row
them?
two.
No.
RG?
Alternate designation. Telde. Alternate designation. Talon. Alternate designation. String of Hexenreich swear words.
Wow. I haven't heard some of those in a while.
RG
Yes.
listening to turn like, who the hell did he say we got him from again?
General,
Mark-
what's his name?
Marcus doesn't remember the name.
All right, give me an
Well-
intelligence. Give me an intelligence roll. You don't have to feat them; means you automatically remember. That's good enough. General Rizal.
General Razel, a bunch of gods came and delivered him to us for, whatever reason. He
Accompaniment designation.
Really?
Rizal? Really? Seriously?
Okay, get them in here.
Also, who the hell names something after a day of the week?
he's a but whatever he is, and he takes off the wig and
We don't
starts
name anything after a day of the week.
undoing the dress.
I mean, just
Wednesday.
so I'll
Okay.
say
Alright,
The
hey.
out of character joke
Out of-
is I adore names like that.
out of
For
character
context.
because again, brain is not working right now completely. You did say Tell was one of the alternate names, correct?
Talon.
Well, was Tell also one?
He
Not
didn't.
that I
He did not get
Okay.
to tell. No.
Well, let's not use one of those names. So Tell Day, get in here, please, and so we can close the door.
Just
That means
walks
the
in.
swear words are still on the table.
They are. Since I can actually
Closing the
speak
door.
that.
Well, to be fair, anyone can speak a string of swear words that has been.
Which, by the way,
Said-
for those that speak Hexenreich, it's you son of a bitch machine. Why won't you fucking work? I have done this again and again. Jesus fucking Christ, please just fucking work.
Oh.
Well, I
Solid name. I like it.
guess it works now.
Regardless, it is good that everyone is here. Cass, how are you doing?
Everyone is in here.
Where the hell
that,
did Gifton?
that is the problem. We
Attempt
split up.
communication failed.
Yes. Sorry, Taude. Let me finish my thoughts. We went.
Should
to...
we not consult with person in charge?
That'd be me.
Klopp is not in
I have-
charge.
You cannot countermand command.
What the hell commands
No
are you talking
authority
about?
given.
Be quiet.
No. No authority given.
Who the hell does he think is in charge?
Klopp, because of Gifton.
Archie's
is the
gonna sigh
point-
and just walk up to the stables and go, "Hey, Klopp." Like,
Klopp.
just go, "Hey, Klopp, knock your hoof twice if you're okay with me ordering Telday around."
Klopp knocks his hoof twice.
Archie's gonna go, "Okay." Horse has told. Klopp has told me he's okay with me ordering you around. You listen to me now.
Verification required.
Get over here.
I'm inside the building. You went out to the stable.
Archie's gonna like, then get over here.
Walks out there.
Klopp stares at you.
Go against again. Klopp, I got
Salutes.
his insight. Are you okay with me tell him what to do?
Still saluting the horse.
Klopp
Hoof twice. Hoof twice for yes.
Klopp hits his hoof twice on the ground.
Thank you.
Affirmative.
Anyway, moving on.
Turns,
And she's
salutes.
actually going to take the piece of cheese she had and offer it to Klopp.
Klopp
Um,
takes it and just seems to swallow.
Corvus.
And she'll give him
suddenly-
just rub behind the ear. It's good to see you again.
Klopp nuzzles it, yeah.
Corvus just hears Carrot go, "Start!" in Cobbin, going, what is he? But about halfway through, suddenly angry sounding words come out that you don't understand. He isn't quite like he's slipping on the infernal part once in a while, it seems.
Okay.
Okay.
I do not understand what the last part was, but he is an autonomous construct, and he plays music very well. Regardless, and he slams his cane down on the.
Is that by your
floorboards.
standards or?
It's by Gifton standards as well, which
Okay,
is.
fair.
Can I finish
Evidently not.
without any further interruptions?
Possibly.
We tried to locate where Aurel was with Klopp. Gifton went out to heal and look for Cass. Cass has returned, which is good. Gifton is not here, which is bad.
Greetings.
We tried to contact Gifton through our magnificent friend here, Tell. He did a series of words of communication, similar to the sending stones that we got. There was no response. I am worried because she probably would answer if she could answer.
Well, why
And
didn't you say so?
Small chance of failure were she on other plane of existence.
Right.
Sure, so hope not.
However, Klopp can sense out smells of magic. That's how he was able to track down possibly the location of a rail vent. So I need something that's been touched by Gifton. Do I see the note?
Point at Corvus.
By Gifton's magic. You need to remember that.
Yeah, I
Point
know.
at Corvus.
But
I mean, she healed you once.
yes, but it has to be recent. Maybe I don't know.
If we had the body still, but that's definitely not here.
Well, you could call up
And
Lynn
that's
and
also-
ask her to transport
That's
you
also
back to
3 days old at this point.
I mean, that's better than anything else we have at this
And
point.
so was Aurel's scent.
I will
Wait,
point out,
what
out of character,
about her
there is definitely
singing?
something I touched within the last 3 days that is in that tavern, and somebody knows about it, and I'm not helping you guys.
I approve.
It's
I
not
wonder-
me.
Take an inspiration, Sam.
Thank you. I have 2 now.
I wonder about her singing. Wonder if... I mean, I don't know about the rest of you, but I feel a little more resilient after her singing in the morning.
Out of character,
I
did
think I
you
was there for the
see?
mirror bit.
I mean, I'll be completely honest. 2 of us haven't been here for the time, so 2 of us really have no idea.
Something
That's probably
something
his-
magical that is in this tavern. We need to find. She wrote the note a couple hours ago, but it doesn't have any magical scent on it. I got nothing.
Dude, while we were gone.
Yeah,
Marcus.
I've been for a couple days.
Marcus doesn't really recall, unfortunately.
Alright, I'm going to give you an intelligence roll at disadvantage.
Okay.
No, it's not coming to you.
Carrick's gonna start looking around.
She
And
had spoken of potentially healing others. We could attempt to find subjects.
It's a big bloody town here.
Yeah, that's something that we could do. Cass, are you up? Cass?
Are you just gonna go out and like talk? With
Another piece of
Klopp
cheese
when
gets
you-
lobbed over the tables.
Klopp, when
Okay.
you forgot, I'm assuming Aurel's scent. Did you also get Gifton's by chance?
Klopp slowly shakes his head.
Are there any flowers
Damn it.
still around?
Would anything in the Vardo help you with that?
Klopp looks over towards the Fardo, and he sort of wanders over. You can see him sniffing a bit, and then there's a head shake.
Is there any flowers left from Thaldir's body?
No.
Do you want to come in and sniff around and see if you can find anything?
Klopp looks at you as if waiting for your word on that.
Let's go. And she's gonna walk with Klopp. She's not even holding reins or anything. She's literally just walking beside him.
Where are you going?
Into-
the tavern.
Yeah, into the tavern. Letting Klopp actually sniff around.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to give Klopp a roll.
Like, I'm generally assuming Klopp knows, like, this will, when he finds it, if he finds it, that this is gift and send.
Why did I get...
Just there's nothing I can particularly do.
Oh
about
my
it,
god.
especially because I haven't been here.
Klopp
Yeah.
starts sniffing around, and
Corvus will shift his cane to his other hand,
Mhm.
put it on the side of the table, and start unwrapping his bindings. Gifton healed him.
I didn't heal you.
Yes, he did.
I didn't. I haven't healed you.
Because I didn't heal myself, so I.
You just bound it.
yeah.
You just
Oh.
bound it and walked
Uh.
away. I didn't heal you.
Yeah, the day you did that, she didn't have any healings.
Oh, that's
had
right.
nothing left.
Yeah,
I
couldn't
that
help
was the
you.
first
She had
day. That was the
nothing.
first day.
I'm gonna start hunting through. I obviously don't know everything she can do, but we've been around for a little while. I'm gonna see if anything stands out in the tavern for any of the stuff she can. Wait,
She can
How-
sing. She can
I'm ready.
heal.
wait.
What time of day is it?
At this point, it's nearing 3 p.m.
So not sundown yet.
No.
I'm gonna go over to the point where the wings were.
Mhm.
Clop. This might be hard to do, but if this is gone, I think she's the only other person who can do this. And I'm guessing something in here is gonna be dirty because it's been 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna presty something. I'm gonna go over to where the angel wing area was. Keen mind.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get my scent from mine in here, but if she cleaned it too, you get hers. I think. Can you get anything besides mine here?
You see Klopp sniff, and he seems to inhale deeply as if picking up your scent there from the prestidigitation. And then he looks very confused. And you see him snuffling about a bit as he's trying to follow that scent you left and not being able to find its source.
Shit.
And he keeps looking at you.
Hold on, Clap. Slide the ring off. Now try.
And he inhales again, and then he wanders up to you and his nose presses against you.
Okay. So, well, however you do that, my ring stops that too. I guess that's good to know.
Good and
Can
mildly
you-
disconcerting.
Cass is going to stand up at this point.
Goodness, madam, you appear to be injured.
Can
Do you
you
require healing?
get anything else from this spot, Club?
What? Never mind.
We apparently have a musical golem.
Klopp sniffs around in the air a bit more
yes,
and
I
then
could
walks
get
over to
some
Cass.
healing. I'm going to ask a question here. Since
Why
you can't
is-
get a hold of Gifton,
Why is Clap going to you?
since you can't get a hold of Gifton, I'm going to assume at this point that she has either been killed or captured by Aurel, because Aurel tried to ambush me earlier.
Explain.
That is why I am
Wait, you
adamant
saw
about
her,
trying to find her.
let me finish. Let me finish, please.
She's suggesting we go find Aurel and that she'll be there.
Well, Klopp comes over.
Yep, and he's sniffing at you.
Klopp is she's petting Klopp. Klopp here can probably track Aurel's scent off of the critters that attacked me, because I wasn't attacked by people. I was attacked by things.
What things?
I don't know what they were, but I can definitely tell you this: they weren't normal.
What they look like?
Big, red, angry chains attacking me. One of them changed to look like my mother.
Yep. Chain Devil.
Chain devils.
Yeah, and there were 2 of them.
I guess Aurel's going into demon summoning?
So,
Or
what I'm
just
going
give it a
to,
throw?
as I told the
The
guards, and hopefully they've
summoning.
gotten a priest in there to excise the place, but the butcher shop's haunted.
Do I, with that
Pretty
roll,
sure-
know much about them besides that's what that is?
You know that they really get off on enslaving and oppressing.
Okay.
Is a delight to take the weak and exert their control over them. You know that they are a devil and knows tend to be easier to deal with than other types of demon. And they're very, very ambitious, and they love doing deals.
I'm gonna pull my book out. I'm gonna read the words now.
You
And
reading?
Cass is going to turn back to Klopp. So what's up,
Not
Klopp?
out loud, obviously.
Oh, okay. You're reading
The-
in your mind. You're reading the words that you
Yes,
found.
I'm looking and I'm gonna translate to see what that was written.
That
down
is
said.
a summoning ritual,
Okay, so it's not.
and
a
it
name.
seems
Is
to
that
be
a-
it seems to be naming a demon.
Can I make a check to see if I know what kind of demon that is?
No, unfortunately, not just
Okay.
by its name.
Okay. Well, he was dealing with demons, but
Oh, that's lovely.
Clop. Let's try it again. I'm sorry to keep making you walk back, but I'm going to guess Cass's little lightning bolt is what you're smelling.
Klopp
It
seems to
might
sniff
be
at
the
the air.
most. I don't know if you can tell. Maybe if things happen and if you can tell by order, it would probably be the most recent.
Which, Blackie, do you want that demon name?
Yes, since I do have it in my book, I'll actually grab my notebook and write that down.
The name is Barbus, and
I
there's
was
the
hoping
spelling.
you were going to put Raziel backwards.
No, that was the suggested name for our world. It was not accepted.
I would like to point out,
Lizar.
in memory of me, can you be a little kind on my friend?
No. That countermands the other order I had from a recent deceased.
No, I'd like to point out it was "Don't be so trusting," which, by the way, I still was, and I might be dead. Thank you.
Yeah, it's almost like somebody should have listened to Dead Me.
Hey, one of us is trying.
Oh, that reminds me. Telde is going to put a hand on Cass's shoulder.
Cass is kind of
Pardon.
snapping around suddenly.
Pardon, madam.
Okay.
Oh, that's why.
I'm like, I knew what you were trying to do. As soon as you said, "Oh, that's why," I'm like, "Oh."
Same type should not apply. I don't know why it actually applies to damage.
Oh, it's rolling your
reason.
dueling fighting style on it for some reason.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's a
'Cause it's
global
considered
damage.
It's considered an
Funny.
attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it should just be 6.
Don't worry, you're just punching that.
Yeah, he touches you to heal you and then stabs you at the same time.
I'll turn that off for now.
But
Did you
yes,
get any
the
other sense, Klopp?
Klopp snorts and shakes his head, but then he looks over towards the Warforged.
That!
Can you
That! Smell that!
can you smell what?
That's what she does. She
Yeah,
heals.
but does it
With
work
the-
the same?
Klopp steps forward and starts sniffing at the Warforged.
The magic of that is the similar magic to what Gifton does. Maybe
This is an unusual sensation.
And
It's
get used
funny
to it.
because it's not the same because he's actually a bard.
I know.
and Telde, the horse just pushes its nose against you and just snorts.
Would you like an apple?
Tell Day.
There's a head bob.
Goes and retrieves an apple.
So bend down, pick one up.
Tell
Yes.
Day was Gifton here when you arrived?
Affirmative.
Did Gifton do anything that you do any magic in front of you?
There was performance. Accompaniment.
Never seen you.
See,
do
out of
magic.
character, I think I figured out what it is. The problem was Archie wasn't fucking present when it happened,
Exactly.
so she has no clue that this can happen. Because
The problem is, even if I honestly came up to it, wasn't there. So
well, not only were we not there, but it's not an ability she had
And
previously, so we don't know.
Actually, one of the things that I did that I got the inspiration for specifically is something I've always been able to do, and I was requested to do.
Okay, because the only one I know about is you casting Enhanced Steed on Dingus.
oh, lucky. Okay.
Dingus isn't here.
Beep beep. It's funny you say that actually.
Hey,
Beep 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 beep.
Dingus,
Beep 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 beep
where-
beep 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 beep
Dingus,
open.
Dingus,
Please repeat.
Dingus. Suddenly swaps her contact. Okay, Dingus, calm down.
You are getting flashes of gift and care. Gift and care gone, gone, gone. Gift and care gone.
Corvus, you were right.
Explain.
Dingus, come here.
Dingus talks
And Archie's actually going to
telepathically.
hold out an arm.
Dingus
Clap, 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 clap.
flaps down onto your arm.
Dingus,
Andrew,
sit
okay,
still.
Clop,
Beep
come here.
beep
Clop,
beep
come
beep
here.
beep beep beep.
Archie.
She's going to...
Stop!
Well-
Stop!
Archie's actually going to stamp everyone and go, both of you quiet right now. Clop, can you please come here?
Klopp steps on over.
Klopp, can you get gift and scent from this?
He will inhale deeply from Dingus, which Dingus sort of meep, 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 meep.
Okay,
And
Dingus,
then
just
you
gonna-
see Klopp's head perk up, looking out the doorway.
We have the scent. We're going.
Carrick's walking upstairs.
Okay, Carrick goes upstairs.
The opposite
Yep.
of going.
And he's coming down with his weapons, which is what he was trying to tell RG, but RG doesn't listen either.
Okay.
He's looking
really
Carrick.
starting to yell and argue, and
I was
that
in.
would
I
be
was trying to
with
get your
Dingus right
attention.
there.
Okay, so you grab your weapons.
So Dingus panicking in that.
Okay, so you grab your weapons.
Yeah, I got my weapons. Let's go.
Okay. Arjun gonna look and go. Corvus, Carrick, you two up on Klopp. Tell me, how fast are you?
I move at approximate human pace.
That is really useful. Okay, screw it. I guess. Can he ride? She's gonna go. Can he ride the horse? Like you two are pretty fast, and me and
I
Cass are.
mean, he's human shaped. Why not?
Yeah, but how much does metal weigh?
Approximately 300 pounds.
So you can go. That's fucking hot. And Argy's going to, as she's saying this, she's just holding up an arm so Dingus can climb onto her shoulder.
Dingus is scrambling over you and still meeping frantically at you.
She's, as she's talking, she's basically reaching a hand and trying to calm him down, petting it. And I do. Don't worry. Okay.
And he's already flapping off of you and flying to the doorway and seems to be meeping at you all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start
Fuck it, we're
following
going. Come
Dingus.
on. We follow Klopp. We go as fast as we can.
Alright.
Everyone full speed.
There were other horses in stable.
Then
How
grab your
bad
horse. I'm
off are the
faster than that
streets?
horse.
How bad are the streets? Looking at the fires and
Oh,
I mean, I think our first view of it would be looking outside the door.
Yeah,
I'm
a lot of the fires
asking
have
the group.
a lot of the fires have died down. Lots of you that have been about. There's still a lot of smoke and such. The occasional crashing, smashing. A lot of places have been broken into. But most of the violence and such is avoidable.
It's calmed
Okay.
down since 2 days ago.
I don't know how fast or how far we're going. Go grab travel. And hop on because I don't want to try to say the name right now. Asalar.
Okay. Alright.
Hey, grab your horse if you need them. Let's go.
Okay, so you all set out.
And
You going Miss Injured Cass? Not so injured anymore?
I'm at full health now.
Okay. You're going along?
Yeah.
Alright.
Of course
Okay.
I'm going along.
Scene change, though. Gifton.
Corvus, did you take off the dress?
Yes.
Gifton.
I just
I
want to
feel
say,
like you're gonna
Marcus,
clarify that.
Marcus, I appreciated so hard what you just did. Okay, I give you a hug. All right.
Gifton, you feel yourself starting to stir. Your head is thumping. It feels like you have spent a night drinking far too excessively. It's like the worst hangover you've ever had.
No.
And as you shift about, you feel poking of something very large, lots of something's very large. You know what that feeling is? That's straw.
God, I hate straw sometimes. I just kind of shove it away because it's kind of big and woody.
Yeah, and you shove it away, and as you shove, your hand hits something metal.
Yeah.
And as your eyes open up, you see what your hand just hit. Seems to be a bar? A vertical bar?
Mhm.
And, there's another one next to it. And next to that one. How?
How close
Oh,
together
it's
are
the
these
cave.
bars?
Oh, like a couple of centimeters.
Oh. Oh. I'm gonna slowly kind of get to my feet, kind of trying to take in my surroundings.
As you get up a little shakily, you seem to be in a square cage. It's not particularly large. Barely, I don't know, 10 inches by 10 inches
Mhm.
by 10 inches. So enough for you to stand in, but it's not spacious, but enough for you to move about. And that's weird. You touched it, but you could swear that looks very much like iron with some strange silver filigree running through it.
Hmm.
But touching it didn't bother you.
Kind of touch it a little bit and kind of give it a quizzical look. Must be some weird metal I don't know.
Yeah. And as you look about, Care is in the corner, right by you, seemingly still passed out.
I'm gonna rush over to him.
Okay, you rush on over to him.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, my head.
Are you okay? What happened?
Hang on.
Did you get arrested?
I don't know. There was this puff of something, some cloud, and then I tried to run behind that girl, and another one went off, and that's it.
The hell are we?
And he sits up, and you see him sort of reach a hand out to stand up, and then swear as he tugs his hand back away from the cage.
What is it?
Iron.
No, it's not. And I reach over and grab it. See, it's fine. It's just whatever it is.
He gives you a strange look, and he holds up his hand, and you can see that slight burnt look.
I geek a face. Oh, it's a lot worse than I thought it was.
Where the hell are we? And he'll stand up beside you, and looking around, it's a bit dimly lit in here, but you can make out what looks to be various crates and some cages. You see what look to be... There's a rabbit over in that one, although there's a pair of antlers on it. A bunch of boxes with looks to be silks hanging out of them. Just seems to be a very strange assortment of goods. You see a painting leaning against one of the walls here, and it's the room itself seems to be stonework, very dark, very dingy, and you can hear the sort of distant sound of dripping water.
I'm gonna pick up one of the pieces of straw and
Where's my sword?
Where's my stuff?
You don't have your stuff on you. You are in your clothes.
Okay, I'm gonna try this on the straw.
You go to cast, and as you do, you see that silver filigree glow for a moment, and your spell seems to fizzle out.
Oh, that's not okay.
Hang on. And Care actually stands up, and you see him reaching his hand out as if to cast as well, and a bolt of energy leaps from his hand and impacts the bar and just seems to be absorbed. And that silver glows even brighter.
Oh. Do you get the feeling that whoever has us...
You think this is Aurel?
Maybe? I mean...
What
I
if-
kind of look over at the goods and...
And he's going to walk close to the edge. You seem to be on... This cage seems to be on a table. And he moves over to the closest to the edge of the table without touching the bars, and he starts trying to peer down and around. I mean, is he hoarding? Can you see our stuff?
I guess I'll look around.
Give me a perception check. With advantage, he is helping you. Oh, well, there you go. Actually, just a little. It's weird. You can thankfully yourself lean against his bars and try and press your face against them and get a bit of a better look. But on a stool that is just skirted slightly beneath the table, you can see your items piled up.
Hey, there's our stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so we just gotta
How's this
Get out
open?
of a cage. I don't
ah.
know. How does it open?
And he points up, and you can see there is a simple little, very small little lock on it. Your traditional little padlock. Just needs to be looped through a little latch on the top of this cage. It seems like a hatch on top opens up.
Boost me up.
But Stu up. Don't suppose he's got any hidden picks or anything. He says, sort of already kneeling down, offering his hands for you to step into.
I think they took everything. I'm trying to think if I have anything that could work. I don't think I have any jewelry or anything like that. So, yeah.
Well, maybe we can. And as he says that, you suddenly hear there's a big wooden door at one end of this room, and you can hear the sound of it being unlocked. And he gives you a quick look of, oh shit, what do we do?
And then I go over and sit on the straw and motion him to sit with me.
And he quickly hurries over and sits down beside you. And the door opens up. And what you see is a woman, a young woman, straight black hair, cropped just above her shoulders, comes in wearing these very light leathers, seem to be black and browns. And you see her gesturing to a man behind her who is dressed quite similarly and seems to look very similar to her. Obviously, he's a guy and he's got different facial features, but they look almost related. And he's like, okay, look, we grab what we can, we get out of the city, we've got a bunch of stuff here that we can sell, make a new way before it all burns. And he sort of gestures over towards looks like he's gesturing towards you and goes, oh, that pair should get us a fine pay in Hexenreich. Maybe we head there? I mean, I know the boss wants us to wait before we sell, but frankly, fuck him. This is all going to shit. And she seems to nod and points over to a large chest that's a little near the doorway and goes, right, grab that stuff first and I'll gather them up and whatever I can carry. Just get that to the ship. And he nods and you see him picking up this chest and starting to haul it out of the room as she comes over towards your cage.
I'm kind of just trying to commit what she looks like to memory. Hello?
And as you say hello, she gives you a little bit of an odd look, leaning down to peer. Cute. Mimicking.
What do you mean mimicking?
Wow. Yeah.
Why the hell are we locked up?
She looks a little unsettled briefly before shaking her head and quickly heading over and starting to open up some other boxes.
I don't think she speaks Barast.
I mean, she was just speaking Barast.
I don't know. Excuse
me?
me?
Lady!
Hey.
And, shush. Whatever fey trick this is, just shush. I know you don't talk right, okay? Don't get into my head. And she seems to be pulling out a few coin pouches and stuffing them into her backpack.
I look over at Gare and I go, I don't think they're gonna listen to us.
Well, shit. What do we? What do we do?
I don't know.
And she stands up, comes back over to the table.
I'm gonna walk over and grab the bars and I'm going to just straight up try.
Okay.
To yank.
And she watches you flexing the bars, and she sort of leans down again and goes, "Oh, no, calm down, but we'll get you out of here soon, and we'll find you a nice owner, a nice Hexenreich mage researcher. I don't know, whoever pays good coin." Right,
we're people. You can't just sell people.
You're not people. You don't talk to the merchandise.
I'm an adventurer. company.
Yeah, and I'm a living saint. Sure.
Well, nice to meet you, living saint.
Just stop that, okay? You're making me hear what. This is an illusion. That's what it is. Fey magic. Fine, the bar's working.
All right, there is a magic rune here that's keeping me from casting any of my magic. I am not doing anything to you.
No,
I was out healing people that were hurt on the street, and now I'm in
and
this.
she
Why
picks
am
up
I in this?
a cloth and tosses it over the cage as if that's going to muffle you. And then you
Alright,
hear
I'm gonna start
footsteps.
pulling the cloth in.
Okay, you're pulling the cloth in. As you're pulling the cloth in, you hear footsteps hurrying out of the room and that door slamming shut again.
Now you got cloth.
Well,
Add
alright.
that to your inventory.
Okay, rope.
Yep, and we'll start ripping it up.
Alright, yes. Wait, no, give me a bit of that.
Yep.
And Kare's going to take a bit of it and he's going to wrap it around his hands. It's like, I can touch stuff now.
Okay, you sure?
Yeah, shit, we need something. And he walks back over to the edge. Maybe we can push? I mean, our stuff's right there below us.
Sure. I mean, even if we could just damage the bars, that would work. I think I could cast something. Actually, I'm gonna reach through the bars with my hand, and then I'm gonna try to cast with a hand through.
Okay, your arm suddenly feels really fucking tingly right at the part where it goes through the bars.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that.
Yeah. There you see your hand glow briefly, and then there is a strange lashback as the flame carries back through your arm and seems to lash out into the bars. And those glow.
Damage the bar.
It does not damage the bar, but they glow hot.
Oh, huh. Well, I did that.
Oh, maybe more of that.
Okay, I'm gonna force myself against it, even if it's hot, and I'm doing it again.
Okay, get careful. And okay, what are you casting? Sacred Flame again?
Sacred Flame. I'm just gonna keep. It's something I can tank.
Okay. Yeah, they glow hotter.
Okay, she just keeps pushing herself against stuff. If you want me to take damage, that's fine.
Yep. At this point, they start to scald you. You take 2 points of damage.
Okay.
It's like, but wait, careful, dear, please.
Okay, well, just let me keep trying.
Okay. They are becoming red. You take 4 points of damage.
Okay.
And he comes out behind you and
One more.
oof, and that burns. That goes from red to white again, matching that strange silver a bit more naturally now. You take another 5 points of damage.
All right.
Is it? Okay, look. I don't want you getting.
We can heal me as soon as I get out.
All right. Let's try them now. Okay. Honey, please. All right. You take 5 points of damage again. However, that the bars, the entirety of the bars, not just this filigree on him, seem to be burning hot now, and he reaches out with his hands to grasp one of them. And he just nods to you towards the other.
Yeah.
And he's going to try and yank.
I will assist him.
All right.
He's got better stats than me.
Okay.
Can he have one of my advantages? I have two.
Do it.
Actually, no.
That's what help does.
Anyway. Yeah.
All right. Okay. He is going to use his athletics. Oh, 12. The bars flex ever so slightly.
All right.
And he's
try again.
No, wait. He'd do a bit more, but maybe if we push this, can we rock this off? Maybe they'll bend if they hit something.
Okay. Well, she goes to the far side of
no,
the cage.
because we might get hurt. And he seems to be fretting.
Let me just
Round and shoulder charge.
I don't have enough weight. I weigh like a quarter of a pound.
How are you
I'm not
in a cage?
I know, but
This cage is very, very thinly built. These bars are not robust. There's not a lot of weight to it either.
Yeah.
As
Give yourself
another
some
note,
theater of the mind credit, Sam.
just ram it full shoulder charge into him and use his weight.
All right. Well, yeah,
All
I'm
right,
gonna go to
together.
the back of the cage. Ready?
Okay, ready.
2, 1, run.
All right, and you
And-
both charge forward.
And then I am gonna try and intercede so he slams into me instead of the bars.
Okay.
Because I don't want him to hit the bars.
Right, so you try to move in front of him a bit, and that makes him
Because I know.
falter slightly as he
Yeah.
slightly tries to bring himself to a stop. But you go slamming into bars, and he goes slamming into you, and the cage jolts forward.
Again.
Oh God! Okay, just don't run in front of me. You're getting hurt. I'm getting hurt.
You can't hit the iron, sweetie. I can. Let me hit the iron. Will heal me up after.
Okay.
She's gonna be a lot more troubled by the fact you can touch the iron.
All right.
Hey.
Okay. Ready?
Yep.
And
Also, do me a favor and never, ever report this to you know who.
oh, what? Trapped in the cage like mice?
Yeah, no, let's
Yeah.
not do that. Yeah,
That's-
yeah. We had a completely normal time in Cuthwaite.
So normal. And he charges forward with you again.
And then I'll again slam in and let him hit me. I'll take some more damage if you want.
No, you don't have to take any damage from this.
Okay.
And the cage jolts again, and you're able to repeat this a few times, each time the cage inching forward, until you impact the cage, and you feel the cage start to list.
Okay.
And
Alright.
you can feel it slowly starting to tip.
I am
Okay.
going to
Oh
go
no.
to
Oh no.
I'm going to the edge, and I'm going to put my hand outside one more time, and I am going to do something that might cause problems, but I am going to rumble the table.
Okay. You put your hand out, and
Thundery.
the table doesn't rumble. However, you feel the cage vibrate,
Yeah.
and then it tips forward.
Ah!
And you both go over the edge. You head straight towards the stall right beneath you, where your gear is.
Yep.
And the cage impacts the stall. I would like you to make a straight dex check. Actually, you can do an acrobatics to try and grab
Oh, great.
something.
I'm not changed on this.
And he's
Yeah.
going to do the same. No advantage, 16. Okay. He misses. But you
There!
can grab something. What would you like to grab?
Shit. His sword.
You're grabbing his sword? Okay. Right. And the cage bounces off of the stool and hits the ground, landing on its side. And you hear him yelp as he's suddenly on top of the iron bars.
Yeah, I run over and try to get him back onto straw.
Okay, you help him back up hurriedly and move him onto some of the straw that's tipped about.
Mm-hmm.
And you see him sort of reach back to touch his bare arms, his shoulder.
Mm-hmm. All right,
Wincing.
let me. I swing his sword once, and I go. Does it lockpick okay?
Lockpick, go for it.
Yeah.
Don't give it to them about the sword.
Really? It seems kind of nice. Where did you even?
I'd
never mind.
much rather it was a lockpick.
All right, it's okay. Yeah, I'll go for it.
Okay. Alright, I want you to give me a sleight of hand check.
Oh.
And he's actually going to move over, and he's going to peer into the hole and help you.
Advantage?
Advantage.
No.
Wow. So you click about a bit,
+5.
and as you're sort of trying to twist this sword about in this lock, you hear the sound of footsteps approaching that door again.
Oh shit.
Quicker.
All right, I'll try again.
Yep, let's go. To the left that time. Oh, there we go. Yep, just press
Snap.
down on that bit, and
Yep, got it. All right, I will shove the cage open and then motion and leap out.
Yep,
and motion for him to follow me.
he follows after you. A brief little squeak of pain escaping him once more as he touches the ironwork to force himself out.
Mm-hmm.
But he clears the cage. And he quickly grabs your hand and hurries beneath the table with you.
Yep. And we will both go hidey, I think.
Yeah. And give me a stealth roll. Oh, very nice.
On the bright side, you have access to magic again.
Yes.
We'll take the median between the both of you. Okay.
Yeah.
And you hear the door open once more. Footsteps coming in. And then you hear that male voice go, "Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Polly, they're gone." And those footsteps approach, and you see him bending down to pick up the cage, peering into the cage, and you
Looking at the big, like, burned mark of the bars.
Yeah. And he even lets out a sudden, "Ow, fuck, that's hot." I said, and he dies.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear other footsteps coming in, and she's like, "What do you mean they're gone?" "Oh, Morgan, did you let them? Did they trick you?" "No, that was like this when I got in here." Oh, shit, this has all gone to shit. I tell you, we shouldn't have let that creepy fucking. This whole city's gone to madness since he arrived. Should we look for them? No, we want to get out of here as soon as possible. Just a quick look around. And then you see him put the cage down and start leaning beneath the table to look about.
Mm-hmm. All
right, and he does not beat your stealth score. It comes very, very close. You see him looking about. You see him reach out briefly as if to feel behind stuff, and some of those fingers come so close to you and Care.
Mm-hmm.
As you sort of sink yourselves back behind one of the crates that's right next to the table.
Mm-hmm.
And they start patrolling. Should we? I mean, maybe we use one of the critters to find them. The hound's supposed to have a good nose, right? Yeah, and we let that out, and suddenly it vanishes away. This fucking idiot idea.
Link out.
Okay, right, yeah. Look, I'll go get a couple of the others. Just keep an eye on the door. And you hear his footsteps leave.
I am going to use thaumaturgy out the door to make a sound.
Okay, what sound are you making?
Let me look for what sound I can make. Actually, I probably should use Druidcraft.
Okay, use Druidcraft.
I will make it sound like a
Sound.
Small animal
like an
squeak.
angry fox.
An angry fox.
Yeah.
And okay, you hear the woman let out a surprised yelp as she and you hear footsteps. Sounds like her shuffling about. And as you peek out, you can see her turning to face the door and quickly hurrying over to look outside.
Mm-hmm.
And you see Care gesturing up at the stool as if, "Our stuff, our stuff."
I am going to use my racial and Misty step up there.
Okay, he will actually follow you.
Mm-hmm. And then I will grab up my stuff.
And he grabs his gear and he's quickly trying to get his breastplate on even as he's heading to the edge to hop down.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm looking around. Is there anything else in the room other than us? Was there any crates or boxes or any signs of things?
You see this strange rabbit thing with horns. You see a few crates of boxes, but there's nothing of immediate interest. Just seems to be a lot of valuable goods, which you might want to get if you feel you can carry paintings out. But looking past her through the doorway, you can see the next room has many, many, many more cages filled with all kinds of creatures.
I'm going to grab Care's hand and point towards that room.
Oh, crap. What?
We let him out.
Let him out?
We let everything out.
Is that a good idea?
Why not?
Okay, wifey knows best.
Yeah, come on. I mean, they don't seem to care if you're intelligent or not. We might as well let them out.
don't seem to think we're intelligent. And you see him scowling.
Yeah, and I'll start leading him off. Do you want stealth checks again?
Yep, stealth checks again.
Okay, I'll roll stealthy. Stealth good.
The cabin in the woods tactic. This is gonna go so long.
Oh, look at you!
Mm.
All right, so you're keeping yourself a little more composed than Care is. You see him sort of shuffling, almost bumping stuff, but you hold his hand and keep him steady.
My
As
husband's a little bit more jumpy.
Yep, as you lead him towards the doorway. You see her looking out for that doorway still, and her back is currently to you. Do you want to go through the door?
I want to use thaumaturgy to slam the door.
Okay, you're gonna slam it on her.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, go for it. You use your thaumaturgy, and the
Yeah.
door suddenly, whoomp, and you hear her let out another yell as it basically hits her right in the fucking ass.
Uh-huh.
And
then I motioned to Karen to be quiet, and we keep slunk into our little area.
and the door is suddenly thrown back in, and she rushes back into the room. You see her sort of standing there, looking about, yelling, "What the? Get out of here, little shit! What?" And yeah, you've got enough room to move past her. She stepped into the room.
Yep, we'll sneak past then.
Okay, you move on past her, and yeah, you are in a room with many cages. Some little bird cages holding these strange feathered creatures that seem to have a weird little flicker of flame at the end of their tail feathers. You can see a dog with an extra pair of limbs, maybe. There's a great big crate, nearly bigger than an actual person, a real person, not a brownie. That seems to have some arcane sigils covering it.
Alright. I'm gonna look about, and I'll hand Karen his
And-
sword back, because that's his.
And in particular, in a corner of the room, just resting in a hanging bird cage, is a familiar creature, a pseudo dragon. It seems to be a nice sort of blue.
I'm
She
gonna
just seems to
point
be
it-
sleeping.
I'm gonna point at the pseudo dragon, and I go, definitely that. I guess I am going to... Everything needs out.
Everything okay?
I'm gonna cast Aracial.
Mhm.
Or yeah, because I think I have this as a racial. I can't find it in my list, but I have it. I can cast it as an actual spell.
Okay.
I mean, speaks with animals,
Yep. Okay.
and I'm gonna say, okay, who wants out of here, and is it gonna eat me?
You see quite a few heads rise. Some of these do seem to just be normal animals with particularly pristine coats and exotic colorations. Some of them do seem to be a bit more magical, but a lot of heads look to you in understanding, and you get a chorus of chirps and squeaks and woofs and such that you understand there's
All right,
one's
who's
out.
gonna help me with the cages? I'll start with you for whoever can help me with the cages.
A monkey seems to hop up and down in its cage.
All right, I will go over there and what looks like we'll work on the lock. I have
It
my
looks
sword.
like a very simple lock, a lot wider. You could probably do a pick-in again. Frankly, magic would probably open these down. There doesn't seem to be any
Alright.
warding on these.
All right, I'm just gonna sacred flame. I'm gonna burn these locks.
Okay. Alright, you sacred flame it, and the lock heats and
Pops off.
pops.
All right, and then I'll go. Come on, help me,
Alright.
help me.
And the monkey sort of hops on out, starts making monkey noises at you. And-
I would understand them because animals.
And because it's a smart little creature, goes up near the door and grabs a set of keys off of the wall on a nice hook.
All right, you start doing that, and then I'll continue going around. And I'm. Care, can you get up to that?
Yeah, I'm on it, and
All right.
you see him starting to make the usual awkward brownie climb using his rope and such.
I'm gonna go open the big box.
You're gonna go open the big box.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, okay. What I want from you
Yeah.
is this box just seems to be latched shut. Doesn't seem to be a hook on it. A hook, a lock on it, rather. Just a metal latch right in the sort of middle. You've got to clamber up the wood, but you can manage that with your climbing equipment.
Uh-huh.
And you're going to push the latch up.
Yep.
Right, you push the latch up, and as you do, the sort of weight of the door makes it start to swing open slightly.
Oh, whoa, whoa.
Yeah. And you staying on it, or are you going back down?
I'll stay on it for a sec.
Okay, and it just comes open about 10 inches. It's not fully open, just a slight crack.
And I'm gonna kind of peer down inside. Hello?
Okay, what you see in the crate, seemingly just hovering in midair, is this great big fleshy bulbous orb with a bunch of these hanging little tendrils on it. And then the ends of those start to open, and there are eyes.
Yay!
And then the great big center mass, a eye, opens up along there as well.
Hi, I opened your box so you can get out. Do you speak common?
Hey,
I
out of character, worked in one of them.
How
kobold did this.
how big is it? Is it a real one or is it one of the subtitles?
It's large.
Okay.
A crate that's bigger than a human.
Hey, again, there was a kobold who talked her way through.
And Gifton, as it looks at you with that big central eye, things feel a little weird.
Ugh.
As if you're having trouble getting that little connection that tells you I can cast spells. You are safe for the Ainda. It's what you hear from it.
I'm not very smart, so I don't know many languages.
And
Can I help you?
and this
I
monk,
don't know what it is.
and as the monkey's going around opening cages, you see you can hear Care getting, okay, got it, it's open, and the floating form just seems to edge forward, nudging the door open, making you swing further out.
Ah!
And then the ruckus of these animals being released lures the lady back in, opening up the door. And you just hear her let out a, oh no, as one of those eyes faces towards her, seems to shoot a beam of energy, and she drops dead.
Care, I think I didn't like the lady.
And the strange dog thing that was released lets out a panicked yelp at the sight of this creature, and promptly vanishes.
Like dog.
Bye, dog.
And now there are a bunch of animals running around, screeching and squawking.
Come on, guys, let's get out of here.
And there is another doorway in here.
All right, I'm gonna get the monkey with me to go get the door open for everybody else, and then I'm gonna like wave at Orby.
The monkey is screeching and pointing at the orb.
I'm making gestures of no, that's fine, and I'm pointing at the door.
And you see the orb turn towards the door. Another one of those stalks seeming to look at the door, and then the door is suddenly torn off of its hinges, as if by some strange telekinesis. It is free and and it continues to float forward through the store.
And I'm just gonna shrug and motion everybody to follow. Jailbreak. He's our
And-
Lord and Master, guys. You don't argue with a beholder.
And you can see Care seems to be trying to calm down this little pseudo dragon, which is making a little beep, 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 beep at him. As I had to do a different noise.
It's a pepper.
And
I am gonna go back in the other room, and if I have to, I'll use a Misty Step and get up and get the bunny out.
you're gonna get the bunny out. You're actually gonna rescue the bunny.
I'm gonna rescue the bunny.
Right. The bunny communicates to you a thank you in whatever this beast tongue is,
Yeah, yeah.
and hops out
And,
and actually sort of nudges you with a horn.
What's that mean?
It crouches down.
Okay, I'm gonna climb up on the horned bunny.
Okay. It leaps into the air, and
Huh?
suddenly you are back in the other room, as if it just hopped through a portal.
Care, I think I'm in love.
But okay, she's making very strange images in my brain. Okay,
Oh, she's so pretty.
yeah, she's lovely. Okay, we're gonna get you out of here. Just
Come on, let's go. We gotta get out of here before the other guy comes.
and you can see him slowly pushing forward, doing the traditional hands out. Yeah, shh, it's okay. And then he says you're gonna climb up on her,
Mhm.
and he lets out a little panic sound as she actually launches herself from the cage.
Mhm.
And yeah, you can start making your way down the hallway. Already, the sound of the beholder is growing a little distant as you double back, but you can hear the occasional scream, sound of a ray firing out.
And ash piled up in a corner.
So, just to clarify, sweetie, oh dearest of my heart, when a certain winged fellow comes to call and he asks about the eyeball monster that decimated Colthwaite, we know nothing.
Not us. Not us. Okay. Right.
But I'm keeping the bunny.
And then Gifton looks and goes, I was talking to the rabbit.
And you you start to make your way along this corridor, following
Yeah.
the ruckus sound of animals escaping.
Mhm.
Alright. The other group.
Ah.
So, Dingus is flapping frantically ahead, and Klopp is keeping pace with him, seemingly forgetting any orders to slow down.
I just as well argue is basing it on the order of fuck stealth.
And soon he leads you to an alleyway, where he meeps and beeps frantically at a spot by a wall, where there seems to be a coating, a residue on the ground and on the wall here. Strange sort of purplish powder, it looks like.
Corvus will hop down.
Let's go. Garvis, fuck is
Yep. Already on it.
Right, you're gonna take a scraping of that.
Yep.
Okay, you take a scraping of it. You can do everything with that scraping right now. Do you want to taste it?
No, I'm gonna do poisoner's kit or herbalism kit on it.
This require you to take those are substantial kits. Remember,
Yeah.
you're gonna do that in the middle of the street. You're gonna get all your files and start heating shit.
All right.
Or do you want to taste it?
Will tasting affect? Will he know that with his studies with the kits?
No, because you don't know what it is.
What it is.
You're gonna taste it? Can I convince you to taste it? Do you trust your DM?
I do not trust my D.
Okay, so Corvus does not taste it then.
He puts it in a bottle. He scrapes off as much as he can,
Yeah.
and puts it in his sash.
And you see Dingus is sort of meeping at you still frantically, while Klopp is huffing and snuffing around and starting to head deeper down the alleyway.
We'll follow Klopp.
Yep. Fall on the horse.
Okay.
Yep.
Right, back underground. So, the Beholder's carnage seems to be continuing. You have come to a crossings, it looks like. You oh no, has Gifton ever seen a sewer system before?
No.
No. Yeah, so this is weird chambered corridors of stone. Does not seem to be particularly gleaming or well kept. There is water dripping down from parts of it. The smell is horrendous in spots. But as you step to the corridor, something feels a little weird. It's like you just passed through something.
What the heck was that?
And you glance backwards, and there is a wall right behind you from where you came.
Oh, that's clever.
What? Oh.
Oh,
Let's
I'm
not
gonna-
praise our captors too much.
I'm gonna take a take my sword out and see if I can ride the bunny over near the wall where it's solid, and I'm gonna make a little scrape on some of the brick.
You go to scrape, and the blade tip just passes through it after the mildest bit of resistance.
Even on the if I
Oh,
keep
you're
going
going
down.
next to it.
Yeah.
You move over to where it looks like the corridor turned, essentially, and as you bring your sword along, there's some tap as you find real wall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
make a
see if I
scraping
can
there.
make a mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to make a mark so I can find it
The
again.
stone gives pretty easily under your blade, so you can do a mark.
Yep, I'll do a mark. Well, we can find it again
Uh,
if we need to.
I'm more worried about us finding our way out right now. Do we keep following the?
I have the mind that he knows what, or she, or yeah.
Blob.
And very distantly, you just hear, "I was a valiant."
I'm gonna try to nudge the rabbit to chase a little faster.
It does not want to go in that direction, strangely enough. You can feel it sort of stiffen up beneath you.
Which way do you think we go, Bunny?
Listen, how long does that spell last? Can it still communicate with you?
10 minutes.
I
Oh,
can
yeah.
cast it.
Yeah, don't worry, it can still communicate with you. It in that sort of bestial thing, it tells not the way that went.
Do you know the way out?
I can get out.
I'm gonna slide off and go. Oh, don't let me keep you.
It stares at you briefly, sort of wiggling its
I'm
nose.
gonna give it a little like pat on its head and be safe.
And it returns the impression of be safe to you. Before it just sort of drops through the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Jackalopes be weird.
And it's gone.
Yep.
And okay, down. Whoa, and the pseudo dragon sort of skitters down beside you in a not very graceful landing.
Oh,
and
she's lovely.
And you see it sort of turn its head back and sort of make it give a couple of little annoyed beps towards Care. She's lovely. She does not. Okay.
Be nice.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. And he sort of pets the neck of the pseudo dragon, who seems to ruffle a bit, let out a little trill as if fine. I'll accept this apology.
I'm sorry. You're his first dragon, sort of. Okay, so, what about you? Do you know which way you came in?
And she tilts her head quizzically, and you get a sort of flashing impression of what in.
Down here. How did you get down here?
And the head tilts back the other way, and you just get a flash of cage always. Room always.
Oh. Okay.
Probably hatched in.
Yeah. I'll look over and see if any of the other animals are.
You can hear more than see now. Down each of the corridors, actually. The three ways that you haven't come from.
Mm-hmm.
There's a faint glow down one of them that looks a little fiery. Give me a perception check. Okay. Take advantage because Care will help you. He's your assistant here. Okay, yeah. Very good. Yeah, it's hard to tell. There's a glow coming down from one of them. There's the sound of sorting beams still from the distance of one. Seems to go round the corner again, and not much noise down the third one. But you did see a couple of. They looked. You've seen a fox. Yeah, you've seen a fox.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a couple of Fulpine-like creatures run down one of the corridors.
Okay. Well, she's going to go towards the light.
You're going to go towards the light? Okay. You start walking along, and you can hear... Okay, go... What? Oh! As he's nudged off of the pseudo dragon, who puffs a chest at him and just seems to follow along on foot.
Dignified lady.
All right. Well, okay, fine. No, whatever you want.
Gotta remember they're their own people.
Yes, and she does not want to be ridden right now. Okay. So this is the way you think?
Maybe. Hard to say.
And
I mean, at least we're not in a cage anymore. And I am going to start healing him up because I know he took a lot of pain.
okay, you're gonna heal him. Okay. You see those little burn marks and such fade away as you heal him.
Does
And,
the black marks from the iron go away?
Yeah, they do,
Okay.
which is unusual. But he looks thankfully at you, and he gives you a quick hug. And as he hugs you, that orange glow starts to approach you again. Back down the corridor. And you see one of those birds with the bright orange feathers and these little licks of flame at the end is coming towards you, squawking. And then there's a as a net hits the wall just behind it. Seemingly launched from something.
Don't worry, I'll help.
And
can I see anybody?
within a few moments you do. As from around the corner comes a human gentleman. Seems to be a bit older than the two that were fussing about in your caged room. He's carrying what looks to look like it's a crossbow, and is loading this big bundle up into it.
Okay. Upon seeing him, I am throwing trip shot.
Trip shot. Okay. All right.
Pull him
DC
to the ground.
17. Oh.
Ooh, nice.
He lets out a surprised sound as he as this tangles around his legs. You see him try to leap over it, and it saves him from falling. But as it sort of catches on his feet and keeps him bound in place, you see him sort of wiggling forward. So, what the fuck? Oi! Stay right there!
Oh no, I'm coming for you.
What? And he tries to launch this net at you.
Uh-huh.
And what's your AC?
My AC is 20.
And it misses quite soundly. And you do see it sort of explode off into a net and then just scatter along the ground beside you.
Mm-hmm. I'm doing a warning shot. I'm choosing to miss.
Okay, do a warning shot. Huh. Okay.
Because it's just basically a fireball right next to him.
Yeah, you do a lick of flame beside him, which makes him curse a bit, and then he tosses the crossbow at you.
Okay. That is actually quite large, son of a bitch.
But it crashes onto the ground, and he now he starts to hobble. Actually, he can move now. You see him sort of snap at those vines as he turns and starts running the other way. Yelling, "It's a loss! It's a loss! Grab stuff and go!"
How far out is he?
He was about 30 feet out. It's very close. But he turns the corner. Do you want to catch up?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Try.
you run your little 15 feet to make 30. And yeah, you get to the corner and you can see him running down a corridor towards what looks like to be a dead end. Okay.
I will cast Hold Person. It is a DC.
He does not make it.
Yep.
He suddenly freezes up.
Mm-hmm. Githin's got kind of a little bit of a glare going, as she's just got this like golden energy kind of just coming off of her, and she starts kind of like prowling towards this man.
And you can see him trying to glance back over his shoulder. He is frozen in place, and he's trying to keep an eye on you, but he can't turn his head. He can't move, and you can see a little look of panic in his eyes. What?
A little look, you say.
There's a dear. There's a bird on fire.
What do you mean the bird's on fire?
I'm sorry. I think that's the best line I've heard tonight.
It's on fire, and yeah, there's the bird flapping, and its wingtips seem to be alight with flame.
Quick, put it out.
Create water.
And it's squawking angrily at the man you have frozen.
Which way is the way out?
That's, I'll never tell you.
It would be a shame if I were to have to amuse myself for a long period.
I can't
of
describe it. I'd have to
time.
lead you out.
I let go of hold person.
He stumps a bit as he's suddenly able to move his muscles again before he puts
You
his hands
wouldn't want me to
straight
have
up.
to play with you.
No.
would you?
No. Listen, it was not my idea to try and catch Faye.
I can be a very nice little fae.
I like.
Until you start to play not so nice.
I play nice. I like nice little Faye. I'll play the lead you out game.
Also, I am going to roll deception because this is.
Yeah, you can have advantage.
Because I'm sorry, I know I'm faking.
Yeah. Yeah, that's enough.
Yeah.
I'll play the lead you out game.
Yes, you'll play the lead me out game, and then I'm going to cast. I still have probably the animals going, don't I? Or is that concentration? Let me look.
It's concentration. Yes.
So you lost it with hope.
Wait, let's see. No, it's not concentration, so it's still going.
All right, it's still going.
Mhm.
I'm casting a thaumaturgy. I have a prisoner that'll lead us out. Animals with me.
Okay, you hear a few distant chirps, and you are soon rejoined by the monkey,
Yep.
Is there a low rumble of just random gibberish?
a couple more fiery birds.
Yeah.
The foxes seem to return,
Mhm.
which they have a strange glow about them that seems to run down their backs.
Okay. Neat. Yeah, and I will.
And
as
then
soon
there's a
as I
pop as the blink dog reappears, who has been
hi.
happily teleporting around these sewers.
I am just.
Good boy.
Gifton is actually looking very apprehensive about the blink dog because dogs are scary. And she's like, nice.
They're the natural enemies to Displacer Beast, though.
They're also the natural enemies of brownies in a lot of ways.
And it looks at you quite intensely, as if it is regarding you.
Yeah, I'm gonna giving it that same look, and I go, I'm not messing with you. You don't mess with me.
And the
Alright.
the flapping fiery
Alright.
thing is squawking at the man angrily still, as accusing him of throwing rope at it.
Yeah, he did bad, but we let him live if he gets us out, or otherwise we make him regret. Come on, let's get him out of here.
Okay, and he will actually sort of motion you towards the wall ahead of him.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
I'm going to step through. I won't run or anything, I promise.
All right, good, because if you run away after making a deal with a fairy, I get your soul.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'll be right on the other side. And he just steps through it.
I look over at Carrot and go, I am really bad at this.
I'm really liking this.
Oh. Roleplay later.
Priorities.
And he looks slightly abashed as he starts marching ahead.
Care, mind your role play.
Soldier in the back of your heads reminds.
There's a time and a place for everything.
Time and place, children. All right, yeah. So we'll follow him through.
Yeah. Okay. You step through the hole, and it seems to be another chamber. But this time, instead of leading to a blank wall or another door, it seems to have led to looks like a great big gate with iron wrought gate with gaps in it, where a lot of light's pouring in, and you can see water lapping at stonework that's in the middle of this room. Seems to be a pseudo underground dock.
Thaumaturgy to throw the gates open.
Okay. The gates will not budge under your thaumaturgy.
Oh, they won't? They're too heavy?
Mm-hmm.
Or locked.
Are they locked?
They are not locked.
Okay. I will look at the man. Open the gate.
Yeah, okay. And he heads over to, looks like there's a great big chain hanging. You can see it's looped up, going into some mechanism in the stonework. And he starts to heave it down. And there's that slow grinding noise of this gate lifting.
Mm-hmm.
There is what looks to be a sort of little paddle boat currently set in here. And there are a bunch of crates and such in this room, as if stuff prepared to move.
Anything that looks like it's alive?
Nothing alive, right? Doesn't seem so.
All right, I'm gonna give a quick thing of it to the so I got the animal speak going.
Mhm.
If there's anything that's still trapped in something, let me know. I'll get you out. And then I'll give it a second, see if anything replies.
Okay, 1 second. You hear a little trill from one of the crates.
All right, I'm gonna go over to the crate.
Right, you work to get it open. Kay will help you basically remove the nails that seem to be set into this. Strange enough, it's not so much nails as pegs, wooden pegs.
Mm-hmm.
And he helps you yank those out, and you slide the top off. And
Rust monster.
there's a little rust monster, a very, very small one.
Oh, Gift is gonna pick it up.
And you see these not that small. And you see this tiny little antenna sort of wiggle at you a bit, and another little trill comes from it.
All right, you gonna come with us? Wanna go?
And it sort of rears up a bit, and it tries to sort of clamber out of the crate, but it can't quite manage it.
Oh.
For no reason whatsoever, I say you kill it
will-
now before it causes any trouble.
I asked the monkey. I'm gonna ask the monkey to help get it out.
Okay, the monkey will head over it and very hesitantly reaches for this thing, like at arm's length, takes hold of it and starts to lift it. And about that time, everyone, Klopp has led you to the docks.
Third pier.
And Klopp goes over the edge of the docks into the water.
Follow
I'm
the
going
horse.
with Klopp.
I'm getting off of my horse and tying my horse off to something first.
I didn't take mine, so following the horse.
Yeah, I know.
Hey guys, I might have
Yeah.
left on a boat recently. I don't know. Surprise! I'm in Winden.
I'm actually gonna watch.
Okay,
Where
Klopp
Klopp goes.
Klopp resurfaces and seems to swim beneath the stonework of the docks. But you can see him on the surface. It looks like there is some kind of ledging that you're on.
Corvus.
Gifton.
Corvus.
How
Yeah.
tall is the space, out of curiosity?
What's that, Kronos?
How tall is the space underneath?
Hard to tell from being on top.
Hmm.
As it's literally directly beneath you.
I had followed the horse down. So that's what I was...
Oh, you went into the water?
Yep.
Okay, the space seems to be about 10 foot high. And goes very, very deep into the water.
I will have at that point, since he led us to the boat, let the guy go.
Okay, he quickly runs off down the corridor at great speed. And you are left with care.
I'm going to do that because it's just in a happy chiming voice, going, "God's blessings upon you."
And you just hear a panicked blubber. But you're left trying to get this boat out. And
Yeah,
even with directing on animals, this is very tricky. The boat's just sort of tipping about a bit, not at risk of capsizing, but just floundering in place. When you hear this great big splash from out
Pretty
front
sure
of that
the
open
feet-
grate,
The firebirds can fly off.
yeah, they are flying off. Although one of them does stay near you, as if sort of gives you a curious squawk, as if it's okay.
Yeah, take care of yourselves. We'll try to get everybody else out. It's okay. Thank you.
And as that last one flies out, you do hear a huge splash from outside this gate rather, and
And probably call it Klopp.
and you hear some distant yelling, sounds familiar. And then this great big tentacled mass rises from the water in front of the boat,
Clop!
and the animals panic.
No, 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 no. It's fine. It's fine. It's friendly. It's friendly.
The dog vanishes again, reappears on crates nearby.
Can Cass poke her head up out of the water at this point?
How
No, it's even scarier.
Oh no, now it's scary again,
Yeah.
guys.
Where-
I would have if it was a 10-foot space. RG's gonna try the thing that she learned from the memory.
Okay. Yeah.
Basically, potting on the water.
Yep. RG, you are able to do that. That strange memory of channeling energy through your own body. You remember that, and you focus, and suddenly this water feels as solid as any ground has.
She kind of postures and goes, "Oh, this is weird. This is weird. This is weird." Okay, and just bolts.
Is it far back? Not that good swimming.
How did you guys get here?
Cass kind of pokes her head up. We followed
Beep,
Clop.
beep, 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 beep,
Oh,
beep,
yeah,
beep.
Oh, Dingus
and
is
Dingus found us.
Dingus and Clop.
Hello.
I'll try to grab you
Hey,
two.
Dingus, can you help me get this guy out of the crate? He's stuck in there.
And
Oh.
Dingus will flap over to the crate and look down into it, and he sort of meeps curiously. You hear another little trill,
Isn't he cute?
and
They stuck him in a box and he can't get out.
Dingus flops into the crate. You know that sort of ungraceful way that birds will lean forward?
Yeah, and he just starts nudging it out with his head.
Yeah, and you see him trying to push it out. And everyone else, everyone that's down here, you can give me a nature check if you want.
Anyone down there hear me?
Hi, Carrick.
I'm-
Carrick, come here.
Is it far back? I don't want to swim far.
It's not
I'm just
far.
gonna
I think.
look-
I don't know where
It's-
you
it's-
are.
It's about 30 feet.
Allie,
Everything's
am I
about
still getting
30
the-
feet.
Okay. I'm
What's
gonna
that, Cass?
hop on down.
Am I still getting disadvantage?
Yes.
You didn't get to rest yet fully. You
Take
only got
some.
partial.
Yeah, no long rest.
Take-
Even my short rest was interrupted.
No,
Yeah.
you got your short rest. That's why I let you
still
heal.
got it. Yeah, you got
Oh,
the short
no.
rest before we got there.
Nice.
You had an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carrick, you're able to swim to shore.
Swim.
Oh man, I
What
so
are
want
you-
to tell Dave.
Are you coming down Corvus, or are you staying up there?
I just realized Tell Dave's not gonna like my new pet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Telde? Are you
Well,
swimming?
I mean,
I totally, for no reason whatsoever, recommend you kill it right now.
I mean,
We could probably shave off some
Any
of
of
this
us identify the damn thing?
Nope.
No.
I mean, out of character, I will say this: I'm pretty sure it doesn't affect magic stuff, and I'm pretty sure the automated body is considered magic.
It's still
Corvus
terrifying, I'm sure.
Will scramble down the side of the dock
Into the
face
water.
into the water.
You're able to swim over. You want to try and identify this thing as well. That Dingus has pushed out the crate successfully, and is now just sort of bound.
I'm not petting it, and I'm talking nice to it, and I'm going, "Do you want to come with, or do you want to go run around in the tunnels?"
Corvus, that is a rust monster. They like to eat metal.
You've got a
If-
decent amount of that on you, don't you?
Gifton.
Gifton?
Yeah.
It is nuzzling at your sword. You hear it let out a happy trill.
Oh, do you
Gif-
want this?
Gifton. Gif-
Here, you can have this.
If I think Corvus is trying to get your attention.
What?
it eats metal.
As you look over to Corvus, as he tells you this, holding out your sword, the sword's starting to feel a lot lighter.
Oh, like
And it trills happily at you, and you can feel its little feelers feeding over your body as it munches on your sword.
I'm gonna go 1 second. I'm gonna put my sword back in the sheath, and then 1 second, I'm gonna go over. Dingus, come here with my bag, and then I'm gonna start pulling. Hey,
is
hey,
the
help
sword
me, help
even
me,
a
help me with this, help me
sword
with this, help me
still?
with this, help me with this, help me with this, and then I'm pulling a full ingot of steel out.
Oh,
Oh, you want this?
you see those little deedly boppers wiggle really rapidly, and it sort of does its little bounding hop over and just starts munching away, letting out little happy trills that are almost like purrs.
I'm gonna pet it. Oh, it's such a sweet baby.
In
Fun
the
out of character note. they eat by rusting the metal and then eating the rest.
Yes.
Can everybody come with us? They need help going on the boat. Can you guys help, please?
Maybe not that.
This.
Pip,
You
meep,
know, I'm
pip,
hugging Dingus.
Dingus is bobbing his head towards the other pseudo dragon he now sees, and you get flashes of look pretty, look pretty, look pretty,
I know she's very pretty.
and the female pseudo dragon just seems to puff her chest out a bit and seems to be ignoring him and just moving over to care. And Dingus is just bobbing his head excitedly.
Oh God, it's like Grandma all over again. And half of that nobody can understand. Damn forced words.
Canine thing? What are you? I don't know. Listen, I'm Little Fey thing. You're teleporty thingy. Okay.
Would anyone like to make nature checks, just in general, to identify the other creatures here?
Yes.
Sure.
Nope.
Nope.
I guess RG and I don't know most of it.
Hey, if I
don't know
was
shit.
Cass. Corvus
Cass
knows
is
shit.
trying. Cass is exhausted.
Alright, Corvus. You see a blink dog pup. The things that you briefly saw as they flew out from beneath the docking before you leapt down seem to be phoenix hatchlings.
These are magical beasts. Blink dogs, the ones that flew out were phoenix hatchlings.
Yeah, the firebirds were really nice.
The monkey?
I like
Archie's
them.
just gonna.
It's a monkey.
That's
Archie's
just
just
a
gonna
monkey.
look at the blink dog, and the only thing you hear him utter is the weirdest looking fucking cat.
I'm gonna go over and hug the monkey because the monkey's been a star player.
The monkey makes that excited monkey noises.
Can I
Oh,
make
no.
any Arcana checks on these to know what they can do?
Yeah, sure, I'll allow it. Wait, hang on.
Corvus will-
What did you roll for your nature?
An 11.
I will let you roll Arcana at a disadvantage. Now that you've been told what they are, you may have read some knowledge at them, but... Oh, very nice. Okay. Yeah, in that case. Blink dogs. You know that blink dogs can teleport. Not too far, and this one being a pup, probably not super far. But you know that they
What are
have...
the foxes?
The foxes
Oh,
are
yeah.
not in sight now.
And I'm looking around and I'm like, we had 2 more with us. They have really, guys. If I will recast Speaks with Animals. I'll be guys. These are nice people. These are my friends. They'll help us get out.
And the animals that you see just sort of seem to affirm that. Okay, we understand, and there's nothing else.
Foxes were not foxes. We're not things. They're dragons.
But yeah, there's a blink dog pup. You know what it can do. You know that they have an association with the Fae, but you're not entirely sure what it is.
Um,
Well, I guess let's get this boat going.
And yeah, phoenix hatchlings, fiery birds, rebirth, flames.
well, they flew away, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna
You know what
Okay.
monkeys can do.
rip off faces.
Yeah.
Throw poop.
Yep.
I'm going to slowly, like I'm approaching any other puppy, go towards the blink dog
Mhm.
with my hand out, like I'm not dangerous.
It wags its tail a bit, and lets out a little bark at you, sort of crouching down its 4 legs.
I'm gonna slowly and non-threateningly reach out and try to pet it.
It barks more and more as you reach closer and closer to it, and then just starts wiggling about as you pet it.
Okay, I'm gonna very carefully try to pick up the puppy.
Okay, you try and pick it up, you hold it in your hands briefly, and as you start to lift it, it suddenly pops out of existence and reappears exactly where it was, barking at you some more.
That is a very unusual sensation.
So yeah, I was wondering if you guys could help me get everybody that can't fly out onto the boat. That would be good.
I have a friend already to help.
You do?
I has.
Are there more things in there?
Yeah, there's at least one more, but he or
There
she
is the sound of a distant explosion in the corridors.
He is a very cranky thing, and
what does he look
What's it?
like?
What is it?
he was really well. They were round and they had these kind of like
Didn't have minor
stalk.
illusion out of character.
No, I don't.
Okay.
So it had like these stalk, like kind of like Klopp's tentacle-y things that come out, but they had like little eyeballs on the end, and he had one big eyeball and a mouth, and he was all like,
That is the weirdest sounding cat I've ever heard of.
But I mean, he
Arcana
didn't
check
hurt
from
me.
anyone that wants to know.
He
Oh
didn't
shit,
hurt me.
Arcana.
Yeah.
Same roll, but let's
Forget
try
it.
again.
I'm done
Oh.
rolling a Margie knows.
Okay,
They
Carrick,
didn't hurt me at all. They were really
you've
nice.
it sounds similar to something you've heard of, but you've only seen it in basically written fable, a beholder. Some things call them guardians of locations, some call them roaming
Like
monstrosities.
Beholder, maybe?
RG, yeah, you've seen mention of beholder. In fact, there seems to be an odd memory of one in your mind, and you're not entirely sure where that's come from.
I mean, I'm fairly certain
Yeah.
where that's come from,
Damn.
to be honest.
You know that they have a lot of power. They can cast many different things, and they can shut down magic by looking at things.
Anyway,
So there goes- I think that one we should probably
They tend to be very angry and not too friendly.
he was nice enough to help us get out the door, but he seems to be on. They seem to be on their own kind of adventure, and the other animals didn't like him very much because they're kind of scared. But so we were just thinking maybe we'd take the boat out because he's going the other way.
I'd say we let him
the
have
bunny-
his adventure. We'll
the
go
bunny
to
are-
boat and go.
The bunny already left. He went down. I missed the bunny.
Wait, the
Bunny?
bunny died?
That was a magic bunny.
Is
Should've went
there
down?
is there any markings in this
Hmm?
tunnel? Markings that Corvus may pick up on?
There are markings here. In fact, Carrick.
Also, there's a whole bunch of really awesome loot back there, but I wouldn't recommend going there.
Carrick, there are markings as well. They seem to
Okay.
indicate drop-off point.
This is probably the Thieves Guild that the
I'm-
individual was talking about on the boat. Raziel's boat.
Don't say. You're not supposed to say his name. I'm gonna I'm gonna get with help pull out the other steel ingots. I'm giving the rust monster both steel ingots, which is probably a big meal for it.
It's still struggling for
Are
that
we-
first one.
Are we
Yeah.
taking that thing?
Let's get what we got here on the boat. Let's get going. We have a town that's kind of on fire.
Yeah, I would like to get away from here.
Yeah, let's get
I'm
away from
glad
that.
to see you all. I missed you so much.
I'm gonna mage hand gifting.
Also, me and
Up on
Carrot
top
would
of
like
Dingus.
to have an agreement that we never speak of what happened in the tunnels.
Nothing happened down there.
Nothing happened in the tunnels.
What tunnels?
Thank you.
Yes, good.
Well.
Okay.
But okay, then let's go because my horse is tethered up above, and I don't want someone trying to steal it.
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
Right, come on, pretty lady.
I have a puppy. Has a puppy.
And you see Care sort of trying to coax the Silver Dragon along with him. Who,
Excuse me, miss. What's your name?
she holds her head up high, and you just get a flash of blue feathers.
Ooh, dazzling.
She's kind of dazzling. Come along, dazzling girl. Let's in here. And he's sort of gesturing at the boat, and you see her lift her head up high, giving her a haughty look, and then slowly sauntering over and hopping into the boat.
Does she not like to fly?
If she was cooped up down here, maybe.
Look
Oh.
down. Oh, God, I'm pretty sure probably some family members might
I-
act like
I-
that at
I'm
some
gonna-
point.
Hug Dingus.
Was it born down here or something?
Yeah, I think that's what she said.
How many people are gonna fit in this boat?
I'm gonna hug Dingus's head and give him a bunch of kisses.
Plenty. It's basically
I
a
was- I'm
barge for
guessing
shipping.
Enough, given we're just doing to the mind. I'm guessing enough.
Yeah.
And Dingus is
Totally
going to
complicated.
meep at you excitedly, Gifton,
I'm gonna give
and he
Dingus
is going
lots
to
of kisses.
like nuzzle against you, and then he's picking you up with his teeth on your cloak,
Ah.
and he is carrying you into the boat with a few flaps.
I am gonna start pressing my clothes and stuff dry,
Mhm.
and also pressing.
Cass, are you getting in the boat?
Cass is just swimming alongside. Cass was
Okay.
probably overburdened.
I don't think Cass got out of the water to begin with.
No,
Alright,
Cass never got
so-
a chance.
Here's the
Zelda, have you been
question.
standing sentry up top?
He's
Yep.
watching the horse.
Patrolling.
Maybe.
Observing.
Corvus would like to do something before he leaves the tunnels.
Are you gonna blow him up?
What are you gonna do, Corvus?
No, I'll wait till everyone leaves.
Okay, I'm
Are you gonna just let us leave you
Yeah,
down
we're
there
going with the boat.
They're both.
Sure.
I am gonna. I
You
am.
can't
I
get
am.
back
I am
out?
just gonna. I'm just gonna say goodbye, little beetle. I miss you.
It trills softly, and you see it actually leave its pieces of metal and come over to the sort of edge of the dock and wiggle its feelers at you.
I'm gonna wave at it. Be safe.
And it trills again,
It
and
was
you see
way
it starting
more food
to
down here
move
than
up
we
and
could
down the edge of the dock and doing these little sort of crouches as if jump maybe.
Oh, can it please come with?
It,
I'll feed it and I'll take care of it.
it eats metal.
I'm not made of metal.
Yeah, but like
Your
half the crap
armor
we own. I was
partially
gonna say, half the
is.
crap we own is made of metal.
Probably
Aw.
more than half.
He probably doesn't
Yeah.
want to live down here. He'll starve.
Looks at bars affixed to places on sewer system.
I'm pretty sure there's enough.
He's gonna
This
be
is
like an
good to
alligator.
do.
He's going to.
Is that enough to at least have a vague figuring out? Yeah, there's probably enough metal down here.
You have no idea.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like there's a lot of metal. I don't know. Like, I mean, look at that, and that, and that, and that thing.
I can't lift it, so I can't get it
the
on
little
the
feelers
boat.
stretch out as far as they can.
You people are so cruel.
We could just take it and then let it go somewhere, like the
Archie will
market.
sigh and pick it up.
As you reach for it, RG, it actually does a little leap forward as if to try and jump into your waiting hands.
And drowns.
She has it in her hands. Luckily, all my metal is in my
Yeah.
bag of holding.
It's about the size of a little puppy.
Make sure you grab the metal too, so that way you have something to eat on the boat.
So grab the ingot and sit.
Yeah, for ingots.
Thank
And
you.
I'll happily resume munching on the ingot as you hold it.
Yeah.
Right. And then you start to move the boat out. Corvus is staying on the dock, strangely.
Bye,
Are you
Corvus.
coming, Corvus?
1 second. He's gonna pull out his cane,
Make it quick.
and in T-scan, he's going to write with the cane on the wall, just scratching it in. Quarantined,
Okay.
and he's gonna do a little.
Great quarantine.
Because there's a beholder loose
No,
in
I'm
there.
actually asking him.
Yeah.
And he's
He's
gonna
gonna
do a little
Just
flourish and make a sort of
Yeah,
bird's
there's
beak.
no real feature count for quarantine. You can do a no-go sign.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like diseased or some
Caution.
sort of
Enter at your own death.
sickness.
enter equals death.
Just draw a little no-go and then draw like a little fake beholder next to it.
Okay, and you guys start to move out on the boat, and Corvus, you're able to splash into the water and catch up if you so wish. Clamber up onto it.
I can't do anything with my cane.
Well, you could if you wanted to try.
Paddle faster. We're getting away. No.
Did you want to
It's
try?
too bad, Corvus, you don't have one of those knives like the bad guys have. You can just cut the air.
Corvus
You
was
just make people explode.
putting the cane back, putting it back in the sheath. Does he feel anything from it?
It's the same thing I've described to you previously. Yeah, that strange feeling of being able to see these seams of reality.
Can he look at the boat as it's leaving away?
Yeah, there's a boat there.
It's
gonna-
leaving.
It's going to remove the sheath of it, look at the sword, and then
And then
what does he see?
You already know what you see.
you
see
cut out. You said
reality.
and then. You said
And cut down.
okay. You
okay.
cut down, and suddenly a rip in the air following the blade tip, opening up into a black void, very similar to what the gentleman used.
He will smirk. Walk in it.
Just remember,
Okay.
last
Oh
time
no,
you-
you happen to have
And that is, and that is where we pause till next week.
No, we're not pausing just then. We've got to give
Yeah?
a line first. You step into this black void, Corvus, and you glance back, and that dripping water in there seems muffled, but you can hear it still, but it seems so much slower. And as you look back ahead, you can see that point where you'd have to exit to be on the boat, just a little ahead of you. And you start to step forward, and you can feel something gazing at you from all around. It feels like 1,000 eyes are upon you. And there is a chill down the back of your neck as you suddenly get that sensation. Don't turn around. Whatever you do, don't turn around. And that's where we're going to end.
because the beholder's there.
Yeah.
All right, I have to go because
Yep.
it's after time. Bye.
Bye-bye, Sammy.
I'll be on Discord in a second.
Okay, yeah.